Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
On the Queen!
Oh, no!
KZ Excellent.
Nice on!
And Mr. Feel.
Knocking up my wife with my undead mold dick.
Here on Gigaboots.
Really glad we could get food out of the way. Even though McDonald's tried to debunk KZ.
All right, here's the situation.
What?
It's quite simple. I said I will order us some McDonald's because we had a multi-minute conversation about drinks and how fountain drinks at McDonald's are pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let me use the app, and then we can do a carry-out type of thing. It's no problem. We order it, and it says, press this button when you're here. And then Bob's like, oh, I guess you want to go? And then we came with the idea of Bob calling me and saying, hit the button. And then I would hit the button. And then that happened. It was funny. I hit the button. They said, you're not here. We're tracking your phone via GPS, so we know you're not here. And they gave us no option.
Yeah.
I gave him the order thing. Apparently that didn't work. So Bob had to buy all the food after getting a screenshot from me of what we ordered.
Oh my god.
Because we live in a hellscape.
Yeah, I love that Dunkin' Donuts has the exact same feature, but it has this thing where it's like, you're not here. You sure you want to order it? And it's like, yes.
Yeah.
We'll let you do it.
Yeah.
And this all started from us talking about those soda fountain things that put fucking QR codes in it because soda has DRM now.
Yeah. Yeah. They give you a maximum of 3 fills. You get 1 first fill and 2 refills within an hour. God, that's insane.
Psychotic.
This is powered by the Freestyle machines, which already suck shit. I already hate them because the concept of like get your Coke in any flavor you want is good. Problem is, all the flavors are secretly ass.
Oh no!
It's terrible. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. And I'm glad none of our local McDonald's actually used those.
yeah, Wendy switched to it, though.
Yeah,
so never ordering drink together again.
I was so upset when Wendy switched. I was like, God. And for a bit there, when they switched, the drive-thru was still the normal soda machine. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, thank Jesus. But then eventually that switched too. And I'm like, man, the future fucking sucks. We actually had a number of people tweet at us too that the Freestyle machines have like insane maintenance issues where each syrup needs to have its own sensor. And of course, you need maintenance for that and all sorts of shit. And it's really expensive. And it's like, yeah, and it tastes like shit. And that this is the most America thing possible, right? Mm-hmm. We took something that was straightforward, very simple, optimized, and has been a standard for decades at this point, and replaced it with Internet of Things tier bullshit.
Yeah.
It's the future.
It's the future. I know it's the future because you can you can fill your soda by touching on your touchscreen instead of the device. Did you know that had that feature, Bob?
Like on your phone or something?
Yeah, like you walk up to the soda machine.
Okay.
You put your cup down, and then you use your phone to scan the QR code on the screen to go to a website to tell it what flavor you want and then tell it to fill.
You know, I thought these were cool for a day, and then I tasted it. I don't know how this got, because it was just freshly installed wherever we went that had them the very first time.
Yeah.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
And we tasted it. It's like the first run. Like,
Yeah.
It's been in here for 2 days. It's bad already.
It's bad already, and it's only going to get worse because the thing with soda machines is when they're not maintained well, they start tasting terrible.
Yeah.
And the Freestyle machine just started terrible tasting. Went even further downhill from there. Yeah, I don't know.
It's worth it to keep a poor person from getting a cent of soda they didn't pay for.
Then I had someone come into my replies talking about, yeah, well, you know, it's a good thing they're not letting homeless people do this because really it's not homeless people, it's kids. And I had a talk with my kids about how that's stealing. And I'm just like,
whoa, what?
Yeah, taking 10 cents of soda from McDonald's giant corporation. That's stealing, and you should have a talk with your kids about it. Meanwhile, I'm like,
Now listen, Sonny, you should be a cock.
The person replied, some random person who I don't think either of these people follow me on Twitter. Another random person showed up and said, "You're raising cops." It's like that's really good.
Don't refill your soda too many times. That's not justice.
Don't go back to that place with the. Don't ask for a cup for water and then fill it with Sprite. That's stealing. And I'm like, I literally did that. And while I wish I had money to have bought that soda when I was a kid, I didn't have money when I was a kid. I can't feel too guilty about it. Subway's still doing fine.
No, that's bottom line. Their bottom line's getting ruined by that.
By soda.
By children.
The cheapest shit in the world. The cheapest shit in the fucking world.
It's great that moral codes that made sense when we were a village of 120 people have now been extrapolated to giant corporations that control the entire planet.
Right, and don't pay any taxes. Let's ignore the fact that they don't pay taxes, but I should feel bad about somebody getting 4 refills. Yeah, that makes fucking sense.
So arbiter of morality. If you buy a
Halo
small
character?
Yeah, just wait for Halo Infinite.
I'm just imagining them, yeah.
So if you buy a small soda, but you take additional refills you weren't supposed to, but you don't take as much soda as somebody who got a large drink, getting their allowed refills. Like none of this shit's real.
Yeah, none of this shit makes any fucking sense. None of it's actually real. Also, what happens if you change flavors? Like maybe you tried a sip of one flavor and you're like, oh man, that Rick and Morty soda's terrible. That's a whole refill gone.
Yeah, it is.
This is psychotic. This future sucks.
People just start taking crowbars to these machines.
Oh God, that would be great. Oh man, if we could riot against freestyle machines, that would warm my heart, honestly.
Give me the juice.
I saw someone post how to hack the machine.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was in that replies to that same one about this DRM.
Oh cool.
It's like, okay, go to the little water screen, touch these bubbles.
Oh, okay.
Then now you can make any flavor you want.
Oh man, can we get Game Pass on this thing?
Yeah.
Does it have a make soda taste good button?
No, of course not.
Because that would be literal magic. It's very unfortunate. But yeah, that sucks. That sucks. You know what doesn't suck, in theory?
What's that?
Video games.
Whoa.
We played some. Bob,
Yeah,
I hear you have notes.
I do.
Hit us with those notes about video games.
I played Apex Legends because I heard they added that arena mode.
Why didn't you tell me, my man? I would have jumped in Apex. Whatever. It was probably during one of the billion days where my PC needed to be operated
Yeah, I think
on.
it was literally when you were building the PC.
Great.
I booted it up, went to that arenas mode. It's a 3v3 elimination style mode where it's still like the rounds are designed to be super short, kind of like a Rainbow Six style thing where you die once, you're out for that round.
Or Counter-Strike, yeah.
Or Counter-Strike, yeah. They're still doing that thing where the field slowly like contracts and you have to get closer to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It seems okay. It just made me sad, and because you still don't have all the movement options you do in Titanfall.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like, man, this is like bad Titanfall. So I played like 3 rounds and then stopped
And then got sad and drank some whiskey.
Yeah, I was like, I was really hoping this would just be like, here's your death match or anything instead of this one very, very narrow mode. It's still not designed around just having fun.
Yeah, it's complicated, but it is a shame that like Titanfall bombed and this is doing well. But at least this is doing well. I try to stay positive in that sense, right? Because I really like the developers.
Right, you want to see them succeed. I hope that one day they get to make something else.
Considering they're the only studio in product to come out of EA in forever that I can point out and go, that was a success. That says a lot.
Yeah, they made the last 2 things that were successful at EA. Because they also did Last Order.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Sorry, Jedi Fallen Order.
I was like, the Last Order?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fallen Order was also successful. Yeah, so these people are worth their weight in gold,
Right?
basically.
It's like,
They're so good they're permitted to use Unreal.
Yes.
yeah.
They also said, all right, head of Respawn, make us another studio,
Yeah.
please.
Which is always scary.
Which
but
is kind of nuts, actually, to just
Yeah,
be
it's
like,
like,
do it again.
It's like EA's like, you make a really good dish. Hopefully we can cut it in half and fill the rest with crackers.
Oh, no.
We'll have 2 good dishes.
Other than that,
Uh-huh.
The full version of Samurai Warriors 5 is now out. So I played that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit illuminating as to the structure of the game.
Okay.
So you do not get to select like different characters at the start of this. It seems like the whole game is going to be focusing on Nobunaga and his story. I went you 2 chapters entirely, and then it unlocked a separate pass, which seems like it's the only other pass where he plays Mitsuhide. But like all I've seen so far from him is missions are literally like the opposite mission of Nobunaga. Like, oh, what was he doing on the battlefield instead?
Okay.
So we might see more diversions later, but you don't get that kind of the fun of a lot of Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors is, oh, I want to jump in and play the story from this angle because
Right.
it like this is the most typical part of that era. Like the story everyone knows is the Nobunaga one, if you know that story.
Right.
So it's a little boring on that in that sense, and you don't get as many options as far as characters as I would like throughout this game. Like you seem like you're really rooted into just okay, you'll be Nobunaga or one of his 2 friends.
One of his 2 friends just made me fill the blank in my head with like bad cartoon side characters. So it's like main character but stupid and girl.
Which is not that bad. There's like 4 people other than Nobunaga you've seen the BO play as regularly, but you don't get like, okay, I just want to do my campaign, go all the way through as
Right.
like Ieyasu or something.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know what will
that's-
happen after you finish. Maybe there's something else.
That's the sort of stuff I really like.
Yeah, I could see them doing like an Extreme Legends version of this game where it's just great and has that sort of stuff, but it's not in this. It doesn't seem.
Okay, so but the package-wise, let's talk about it. Like it feels good like the older Samurai Warriors games, like the prior one. Because 4 was pretty solid, was it not?
Yeah, it feels a lot like that, but they've added more mechanics to it.
Okay.
So you still have the thing where the triangle buttons turned into this kind of very long, like wide attack button where you dash around the field doing big strikes.
Okay, cool.
And then they add this thing where you hold R1 and then you have special moves you can activate, kind of like in the Fist of North Star game they did and a few other ones.
Holy shit, that's I was not ready to reference that in my playbook of Musou games.
It's also in Dragon Quest
Okay.
Heroes.
Yeah.
And basically all those weird spin-offs they do.
Yeah,
have
the
this
weird
sort of thing.
spin-off ones, yeah.
And they seem to that each character has their own unique special moves that's there, and then you have more generic ones. Like you have an anime dash sort of thing that almost all the characters can do, or just sends them really quick and they attack everything in their path. And then you have other things like buffs. So you can be like, okay, I don't need to. There are no longer drops for like attack times 2 or defense times 2. You can just activate that, and it's on a cooldown. So
Okay.
it's kind of neat. They also have items you can bring into battle, so you can bring a health restore or a Musou restore into battle. But they still drop those on the field. That's not just completely relegated to items.
Okay, but when you bring those in, are those an expendable item that you use once and it's gone?
It's gone for that round, but you don't buy it.
Okay, so you just bring in a limited amount.
Yeah,
But it's always selectable.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't
All
need
right.
to be able to stop and rebuy it every mission. I was worried you would.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about too. That's why I was asking. All right.
You also get to bring in a horse, which you have several different ones you can buy,
I
and
like
then
horses.
as you use them, they level up and unlock
Okay,
capabilities.
that's good.
yeah. I was like,
Do you
oh,
have
man.
horse combos?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, in the past you have. Do you have?
You still have horse combos from your horse,
Okay.
but you aren't unlocking those so far. So far, I've seen things like, okay, it's harder to hit you off your horse.
Okay, so you're not like, oh, I have a level 3 horse that can jump now.
No, all the horses can jump.
Okay, that's good.
You can-
I guess. Yeah.
You get different different horses have different speed and different strengths. So that's like how hard it is to knock you off. And
Is this shipping on PC? I want to see someone uncap horse speed.
yeah, no, I would love to see that. I think it is on PC. But I hope that there is sort of okay, you can get it now. You can get the ultimate horse.
Just start horse drifting, Eurobeat plays.
Yes.
It's like a Mario 64 glitch where you just move at maximum speed and immediately appear.
My horse has been building speed for hours.
Yes.
Oh, that would be fucking incredible. I want to see your cursor on the map move insanely fast as you break the game with this horse.
I also, with the Mitsuhide campaign, I wonder if it was supposed to unlock even later, because after chapter 2, this, like, we're still in the middle of Nobunaga is a young man.
Mm-hmm.
but it jumps to when you start the Vegeta campaign. It shows him after having burnt down Honoji Temple, killing Nobunaga. Like he's an old man, and then it flashes all the way back to the beginning of the story.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew they did old and young versions of multiple characters. I didn't realize it was going to be a flash backward thing.
When does my character from Neo 2 show up?
Technically, you do fight his dad. Yeah, because they
Right.
made his dad a historical character.
Right.
There.
That's really funny. Maybe they'll do DLC where he shows up.
You know, it's the same company. I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's the same company, and they do a lot of crossover stuff within the Warriors series, but they mostly relegate that to that one version.
Warriors All Stars.
Yeah.
Orochi is the other one they do it
Yes.
with, which is more than one game. What was? Oh, right. They do have the Samurai Warriors costumes from the original game. You can get for like they're free to everybody for the first 2 weeks or something. So go download those. They're really bad.
Yeah.
Like we got classic Killer Instinct costumes for the Xbox game.
I think you're really overselling these Samurai Warriors costumes when you compare them to that.
Yeah, I was like, no.
I don't know. I looked at fucking classic Jago in Modern Fidelity, and he looks so bad.
It's fucking great. He's like, it's like, I don't know how the remaster looks, but in the original, it basically looks like he's wearing a Halloween costume, I would say.
It's just the pants that are multi-cut in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's just gaps in it, and I'm just like, oh no.
Oh, that's because he's a cool guy.
It's almost certainly cooler than these because, oh my god, it looks like
Oh my
it looks
god.
like Mitsuhide's shoved his legs into weird cylinders of metal.
Oh, okay.
It's like, what's happening?
His robot costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, right. Now each character has their own skill tree too, which was neat to see. So as you're building them up, you also get to like put points in there, and there's things like, oh, they're more resistant to arrows now, stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, right. And then Citadel mode is another thing they have in there, which I think is it's like, I think it's their take on like an Empires mode.
Uh-oh.
It's weird. Every map is like a small map where it's a defense mission, and you try and complete like smaller missions during that. Like, oh, you need to kill this many guys using this kind of attack, or you need to go get this general before he reaches this point, and you'll get more points for doing it. And the whole point of this mode seems like it gets you materials, and those materials can be used to level up your buildings in your main campaign and in this mode. And the buildings seem like the blacksmith, where you can unlock more features to that to upgrade your weapons more, and the shop, so you can unlock more stuff to buy. It seems neat, but I don't know. It's not really a good replacement for having real campaigns for the other characters to go on.
Yeah,
But-
that's a huge loss.
Yeah, like this feels like where a lot of stuff is going to be relocated. They tried to make it like at least give you some story stuff in there too. Of okay, if you go into battle with these two characters, like a lot of different characters can partner up, and they'll have actual story scenes you can unlock by playing as them a lot. So I haven't done too much of that yet, but I'm interested in trying that feature. I figure I just unlock the characters first, and then I could mix and match however I wanted and try and figure out what I want to do there. Because this does the features from older Samurai Warriors, where you bring two characters into battle and you can actually control them. Like you can order them to go places and then switch
And
between
then
them on the
switch
fly.
between them, yeah. Which is a really cool feature. I haven't played a game that has that feature, though, so I don't know how that plays out in action. Is it pretty cool to jump across like that?
Yeah, no, I think that's one of the best features in this series, because you can, like, okay, I'm fighting this general, but I can go ahead and send my other character to the next general and then just switch to him once I'm done killing this guy, and then immediately be fighting the other one.
Okay.
Which is, it feels great. Like, that's a good way of dealing with this big battlefield. They had another feature they added where there's now a combo meter constantly on screen. For as long as you're hitting a guy, you're able to get more combos. I feel like this is a weird system to have in here because it encourages you to constantly be hitting something, whereas there's more downtime in Dynasty Warriors that I think when I think about it. Like,
right.
you killed this guy, you want to pick up the thing they drop, you want to stop hitting him.
Right.
But now if you do, you have to worry about dropping this combo. And the combo, like, it'll grade you at the end of the mission.
Oh.
Oh.
Does that affect rewards, or is it just a number it's showing you to affect your brain spiders?
It affects both.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. We're both real and imaginary threats.
Yes. Like it encourages you to get an S rank on every mission because it'll get you like some bonus stuff. Like there are bonus things that can drop, get more XP, all this stuff. And it's like in the combo standards are not low. Like I finished a round with 2,500 combo. It's like, that wasn't good enough. That was a B. Yeah. Yeah, no, these things are ludicrous. Which if I'm replaying a mission, I could see going for that, but trying to absorb what's happening in the mission, because like I said, there's no dub. It's constantly things talking to you, and I also need to be hitting things constantly now.
Yeah, that kind of makes that problem worse.
Yeah, I don't think this is a really logical thing for this series to have. It reminds me of a feature they did in Devil Kings.
Yes, I was about to bring up Devil Kings.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, they have the combo thing, so it's unless you play like Blue Dragon, you're fucked. Because everybody else's ult just knocks people away, and he's like, okay, I use 6 swords now, so you get 6 strikes per one.
yes. What a good game.
Yeah, they should make a new one and localize it.
Yes, playing this really makes me want a new Sengoku.
Yeah.
Ludicrous that there's been no Sengoku Basara.
Yeah, because while Dynasty Warriors has kind of been its own thing, it really did feel like Sengoku Basara ate Samurai Warriors lunch and then just went, okay, I'm done competing.
Yeah, and now they're back with their new designs and inspiration from Sengoku Basara.
Yeah. And Sengoku's like, that's cute. I'm not doing anything. You can't trick me.
Do you know what the 15th anniversary project for Sengoku Basara was?
What was it, feel?
The 10th anniversary game re-released.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But not in America.
But not in America.
Not in America, Erica.
It's okay, though. You got that game on PS4 in Japanese alone.
Yeah, I'm going to have to buy that.
They released another one in 2016 that was a spin-off and it was also on PS3?
Yeah, I think that's the one where it's all about Yukumura. Because then Samurai Warriors did the same thing.
God, that was bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
Come on, Capcom, you're bringing everything else back.
I would love to see a fucking Sengoku Basara on the fucking RE engine.
God, that'd be insane.
Holy shit.
I don't like that's the designer behind like the original Devil May Cry and Shinobi. I'd love to see what they could do with his designs and that fidelity.
Yeah, that would be nuts. That would be unfucking hinged.
But yeah, that's it for Samurai Warriors.
Okay, cool.
I still really like it, but there's definitely some problems. And God, please, I would pay you another $50 for the dub. I really would.
Yeah, no, having a dub in these games is fucking important.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Koei Tecmo's brain, but they keep doing this.
Yeah, Koei Tecmo seems really resistant to dubbing things lately.
I saw them put out a trailer for Blue Reflection 2. No dub. I was like, come on.
That makes some measure of sense, because the first one certainly didn't sell very well. But it's like, okay, you're still not doing a tele, even though Rise has sold like obscenely well in the United States for this franchise. Like way better than it did when you were dubbing it.
Yeah, now they found that they don't need to.
Like it really upsets me that they did not dub the 10th anniversary game for the sub-series that was dubbed.
Yeah.
That they released like 2 years ago. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, like how much into the bottom line is us eat? Like, it seems crazy to be like, no, we just can't.
It can't be like the Atelier games don't have that much voice acting. They're not fully voice acted. They do the they do, the middle range JRPG thing of like important scenes are voiced and like some things are voiced, but a lot of it isn't. And but those
it's
like, no.
Those guys with the big bucks. Let me see. Nippon Ichi. They could get it.
They do. Nippon Ichi seems to, of all of Nisa's fucking faults, of which there are many.
Yes.
They at least have internalized that dubs do nothing but increase the market share of your game.
Yeah, it's not hard to understand.
All right. What else I played? I booted up Honkai Impact, that game I played last week.
Okay.
It does not have controller support.
That's really unfortunate.
So
that game looks tight.
I played no more of it because of this.
Okay.
Oh, but it's what I looked up specifically said it did.
What? It wouldn't detect it at all when I booted it up on my iPad.
Huh.
This is bullshit.
Oh, iPad. I thought you booted up the PC version.
Oh, okay. I guess I can check if the PC one works.
Yeah.
I need to go look into that because I totally forgot.
I mean, it would be very bizarre if the PC version didn't support controllers for a game of this style.
Their own website says it now supports most mainstream controllers.
Cool.
You know, if they got it on there, then they have to be putting it somewhere else. Like, they have to be working on a console version or putting that feature on the iPad version or something.
that would make sense.
PC version, that PC version, I think came out like 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
So I don't think it's coming to consoles. They might be making a console version of it. I could see them doing it like, okay, it has higher fidelity areas and models and shit.
And my last thing, I've been playing more Genshin. I'm 70 rolls in on this banner. I still don't have Ayaka.
I think you need to drop the $100.
I think you need to drop the $100.
Bob, we're about to change tomorrow's live stream.
This is rough.
Bob pulls.
Bob pulls live.
I guess that's only fair because the last thing we played last Friday, Pokemon Unite, where someone dropped $100. Sean TK had said, "Here, let's test it." Is it pay to win?
My team crunched Dan's team, which proves that there's no pay to win.
Exactly. If it was pay to win, then my $133 I spent on the game should have guaranteed that KZ's team would have lost every time, but Gengar isn't balanced. Anyway.
Having played more, you're right.
Yes. I feel like they need to fix that guy.
Because here's the thing. At first, I was like, maybe Gengar's a perfect counter pick to my character. Then I played
Which character? All 20?
Yeah, exactly. I played
of the 21 Pokemon.
I played dozens more hours of Pokemon Unite. It's like, no, Gengar's not balanced. I don't know this company. I don't know if they'll ever balance this game right. I'm kind of worried. But I'm enjoying Pokemon Unite. It's been a really great time.
Dan, what are you talking about? You figured out they made him perfectly balanced. He destroys your entire health bar, but afterwards, he's very vulnerable.
That's true. That's what I said during our fucking play session yesterday. I was like, he's balanced in their minds because, of course, he can kill an entire character in one moveset, but then he might be vulnerable if anyone's left alive.
It's okay.
Oh no, I killed everyone, but now I have to take a nap. Oh.
Yeah, he killed 3 of us all at once. And I was like, he's not even a different level.
Yeah.
If there's a Gengar, separate.
Yeah.
They only make sure it just hits one.
Yeah,
he's turning into Dobo during this bit.
It's terrible. It's horrible. But that game is really fun. I super enjoy it. They just added Gardevoir a couple days ago. Gardevoir's moves are really cool. They gave that motherfucker Future Sight.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking inspired pick for a MOBA.
Which they're like, okay, this circle's about to explode.
If you don't notice a giant circle on the ground, this is your fault. And then it's a shitload of damage. Yeah, Gardevoir is really, really good. I'm still playing Venusaur mostly, but I've been dabbling into some other things to check out characters slowly, like Zeraora. I love Alolan Ninetales, but I don't think it's quite as powerful as the other Pokemon. It might be underpowered. I haven't looked up any official rankings or anything like that over on the Pokemon.
Yeah, they'll be real accurate 3 days after the game came out.
Exactly. That's why I'm not really looking it up. Even though some of the people have done this, they were in the beta and they could tell even from that. Even still, I'm like, I this early on, I'm not going to look up too much information. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable game. I like MOBAs in theory, but I can't enjoy Dota 2. I enjoy League of Legends. I enjoy Heroes of the Storm more than League of Legends. If I were to rank Pokemon Unite, it would probably be my second favorite MOBA behind Heroes. And that's not because Heroes has some gimmick stuff. And it's not that I'm tied to, I don't have a big... People know we play Diablo, Bob, that we like Diablo 2 a lot and assume that we have some level of, what's a good word for it? Attachment to Blizzard IPs. Blizzard IPs are mostly a void. Bob never Bob and me have never played World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
We
like
played Warcraft 3.
80% of the cast in that game is like, who?
I played.
Yeah.
I played like 3 hours of World of Warcraft on like a free server someone recommended me and told me how to get, and I played it and went, I don't know what's going on. And everything I've heard about it since is the game is bad. It's always been bad. It just used to be even worse.
But at the time, that was really cool
The
and
climate,
unique and new.
the climate used to be incredibly different. MMOs had the biggest curve in human history.
Yes,
Because EverQuest was
uh,
the
popular.
curve looks like certain Mondo Cool episodes.
Let me see how many of these characters that are in Heroes of the Storm I recognize.
So this is how deep it goes, okay?
Uh-huh.
They added Sonya to the game, and I'm like, this character's cool. What are they from? And Bob goes, Diablo 3, and I go, what? Because I played through Diablo 3. Apparently, she's supposed to be the barbarian or something, and I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh, you fuck Blizzard. I mean, in addition to all the reasons that we already know, fuck Blizzard.
Right, exactly.
But fuck Blizzard in addition for putting Hogger in this fucking game.
What's wrong with Hogger?
It's that thing. Okay, here's the epic story of Hogger. You pick human in World of Warcraft, and the very first elite you'll have to fight. An elite is like an elite is a more powerful mob. It's basically identical to any other enemy, like a normal enemy, but it has way more health and deals more damage. And you're intended to have like 1 or 2 people with you. Hogger is the very first one that in the human area, it's like the last thing you do in that area before you go to the second area. And most people get killed by it because they don't understand the concept at first.
Oh my god, is
So
this the most recent character they added? I've never seen this dude before.
I vaguely remember it. I think I've fought Hogger.
So Blizzard decided, what if we made everything about Hogger how he's a super ultra Chad everyone's scared of, and make him a boss in like
look at
3 different dungeons.
Bob, look at this.
3 different dungeons when we during the Cataclysm expansion. And I'm like, fuck off.
So,
added? This was added December last year.
What?
So this was post everyone saying it's dead. They're not doing anything more. They did this.
What is wrong with that?
Only the esports part was dead.
Yeah, but people are weird, and if you're not funding tournaments and all sorts of other shit like college dorm ranked shit,
Heroes of the Dorm is what it was called.
yes, Heroes of the Dorm, then you're dead and not a real video game.
Which, frankly, the esports deserve to die with that name.
They deserve to die for other reasons, but
Yeah.
A lot of these characters, even I don't know who they are.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I have no attachment to these characters. I just enjoy playing Heroes of the Storm, like mechanically and other aspects about it. So that's why it ended up being my favorite. League used to be my second place, but I think that there's a certain really enjoyable aspect to Pokemon Unite. I appreciate the 10-minute rounds. I appreciate the fact that there's killing and that's a mechanic, but there's also the scoring mechanic, and there are held items specifically for that. There's a lot of elements to it that I really, really enjoy. And I hope none of these people ever learn how to play MOBAs. Because we won, what was it? 9 matches in a row in ranked with Shibuya.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get in that streak again. I think all of them were there because it had that mission that day of you need to get to great rank. So everyone was jumping in.
It's funny because they were like pre-gaming it too, because it was the next day that was going to require you to hit great, which we almost even hit veteran.
Because most people did not get there in time for that to be that day. Most
Right.
people got there in time for it to be the next day. But yeah, they were trying to get it in advance. Yeah, I think it says a lot that this is possibly one of the only games ever that I've actually done dailies daily on. So it's really enjoyable. I can't wait till it shows up on other platforms. And I swear to God, when it comes to iOS, it better have controller support, because Jesus fucking Christ, I just want to play it on my iPad where it might run well,
Right.
or my Mac where it'll run well. That's all I want. This isn't complicated. But yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say about Pokemon Unite, really, other than I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun, and we almost got to veteran rank, which was cool. We are great rank class 3?
4.
Okay, you're 4, I'm 3. Yeah, you went into ranked before me. You started leveling up ranked before I did. Okay. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about that game. Other than, sometimes, as in most of the time, when you get into a battle, it just shits.
Yeah.
It just shits. You know what would help that?
The game will find the perfect time to just freeze.
You know what would help that?
What's that?
Professional model switch.
Yes!
But that's all I got to say about Pokemon Unite. Other than, man, it's really crazy that they did Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite, and I enjoy them both immensely. Like, I think they did a great job on both of those games, and it's kind of nuts. You don't expect that. It's like, look at the puzzle game they made. No one played that.
Everybody loves Pokemon Troza. What are you talking about?
We're not talking about Troze. We're talking about the mobile puzzle game where you swim around these icons.
Oh, God,
and
that ain't real.
Yeah, exactly. In the cafe.
Yeah, the
What?
cafe where you... Like, I talked to this in the podcast
Pokemon
like
Cafe
a year
Mix.
ago.
Yeah. No, that was a year ago. And,
I already forgot that existed forever.
That's because you're a human being.
But you had Eevees in cute costumes, so,
Yeah,
winners
yeah.
of both sides.
It was a missed opportunity. Really cute art style, nice aesthetic, nice concept. Really not good puzzle gameplay mechanics. But that's it. That's oh wait, I played some other things.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil.
Yes.
I played Jelly Boy, the game added to Nintendo Switch Online.
Now, is that the one where you're the ball that you solve puzzles?
No,
Or is that Jerry Boy?
I don't know what that is.
That's related to Jerry Beansman, the Yu-Gi-Oh monster.
That
Okay, it is Jerry Boy, known in other regions as Smart Ball.
Yes, they had to rename that when it came over because Jelly Boy had already come over.
Smart Ball is actually a decent game.
Here, guys, if you know retro gaming, you know SNES era PTSD, like I do. I can tell you
when you played a game that was an Amiga port.
about that. Let me tell you who made this game. This game is published by Electronic Arts. It is also
Okay.
made by Ocean Software and Probe Software.
The only thing that could be worse is US Gold.
Yes! This 3-hit combo of, oh no. Jelly Boy's insanely bad. It makes Claymates look AAA. Jelly Boy has... So you're Jelly Boy. Jelly Boy is this man made of goo, and his attack is an incredibly smoothly animated, but way too long of animation, fist coming out of his stomach and punching.
What? Dan, stomach is generous. That's his dick.
Need to look up footage of Jelly Boy now.
Yeah, this game runs smooth. It has smooth animations. It feels like fucking dog shit. And
There's no way this isn't an Amiga port of some hideous game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's so Amiga Core. It's they sure did release this on the fucking Nintendo Switch Online.
I searched Jelly Boy and it just says walkthrough, very hard and unusual game of SNES.
Not a fan. Not a fan of Jelly Boy. Gotta say that's probably the worst one they've put up.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I'm gonna say that's much worse than Claymates. Yeah. Not the biggest fan of Jelly Boy.
His cock punch.
Claymates still bad, of course. It's Claymates. It plays circus music nonstop.
Oh my god! I'm just now seeing Jelly Boy.
Yeah, no, it's so much worse than you can just guess at. Yeah, it's bad. But hey, you know what's pretty good? Spanky's Quest, and that was uploaded last time they did a Nintendo Switch Online update. Everyone should give that game a shot if you haven't. It's a really fun puzzle platformer, action puzzle game, as they would call it, where you play as a monkey, and your main attack is to summon a bubble that pops out of your head, and the amount of times you bounce it on your head changes the strength of your attack and the type of your attack, and you just make your way through these small levels that have keys in them and enemies and hidden items. And yeah, it's really, really cute. Lots of really great animations. All of the boss enemies are fruit that have been anthropomorphized. So you got like a pineapple wearing cool guy shades, and whenever you hit him, his shades slide off and he makes the dumbest face in the world. So yeah, try Spanky's Quest. It's really good. That was not its name in Japan. That was a US team localization choice.
Yeah, I like that. everyone made fun of it when it got put on the Nintendo Switch Online, but they had no idea.
Yeah,
they didn't know
because-
it was coming.
Because, oh yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
they were
they-
like, Spanky's Quest, what a fake video game. And I just like, dude, that game's actually good. And then the next time they're like, you want a fake video game? Try Jelly Boy.
Yeah, right.
We have fake games at home.
And then I tried one other game on the Nintendo Switch Online, and I actually regret it. That's how bad this is. Bomboozle. That was the other game they added.
Yeah, it is.
What?
This is an isometric, horrific-looking puzzle quote game. It's really bad. I don't know how else to describe it. You just walk around and you detonate bombs and you try to not blow yourself up. And the goal is to blow up every bomb, and then the level ends. I'm posting a picture. This game is hideous. It looks like shit. It runs like shit. It's a
no.
genuinely terrible video game.
And this was sort of the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Okay.
This was super.
Just checking.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
It has a few too many colors to be the Famicom.
Right.
Yes,
Just
yes.
a little.
Select choices of color prove that it's not an NES game. But yeah, no, Bomboozle, weirdest part is I don't think the title screen calls it Bomboozle. I think it's called It's Dynamite Kablooey. And its name in other territories may have been Kablooey. But over here it's called Bomboozle. I don't know. It sucks. It's really bad. I cannot believe how bad this latest Nintendo Switch Online update was.
What's wrong with them? Where'd
what
they
a
find
surprise.
these?
This was originally an Amiga game.
Yeah, no shit. You play it for 10 seconds, you could tell. This was the Amiga
Also-
update, I guess.
I feel it for anybody like listening, and you can't find this game Bomboozle. It's because they don't spell it like bamboozled, which you would think is how it's
Yeah,
spelled.
no, it's bomb.
Yeah, it's actually a
No,
really
it's
clever
Uzal.
Bomboozle.
Yes, it's not spelled in any way a rational human being would figure it out.
I said Bomboozle, and immediately in my head, Final Fantasy VI boss music started playing. Claymates is also European. God damn it.
Yeah, this was the really bad Eurojank update for some reason.
Yeah, it was. It really was. The Euro office over at Nintendo's like, nah, you need these games. You telling me the Nintendo Switch Online doesn't have the cool clay cat known as Muckster the cat or Dodo the duck? How about Goopy the guppy
Yo, Goopy.
and Globmeister the gopher?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. The box for Claymates touts Blaze Processing as a reference to Sega's claims of blast processing. That's
Oh my god.
insanely stupid. Okay, I'm done talking about these bad Nintendo Switch Online games. I enjoyed Pokemon Unite. I enjoyed Spanky's Quest. I'm done. Hey, Bob, do you have other games?
No, that was everything for me.
Fantastic. We're heading over to KZ to see what's up with him.
First up, Neo: The World Ends with You came out, so I played some of that.
It sure did. I also did.
Bob, didn't you
I
buy
didn't get
that?
super
Yeah,
far,
I did,
though.
but I didn't have time to play that and Samurai Warriors.
And do your dailies.
Yeah, and we do dailies, yeah, of course.
Yeah, which we're doing after this podcast.
Those dailies and also the Genshin dailies.
Oh yeah, there's like that one time that we watched the final Harry Potter movies, and it was like 8 a.m. and you're like, I gotta go do my dailies in Genshin.
I did not do that. I went straight to bed.
See, and this is what I
I
told.
believed you.
This is what I told KZ. I'm like, you can never tell if Bob's actually doing that. There's a 50-50 chance either way. If he says, I'm not going to do it, there's a chance he broke down and did it. And if he says he is going to do it, there's a chance he broke down and just went to sleep.
No, see, the thing that happens is I do it like a test when I get home of, do I feel like I can pass that right now? And if I do, I just go do that. And I almost never can.
And that's why it's a 50-50, right? Like, because sometimes you'll be here and you'll be like, I'm going to go do that because I bet I can't sleep. But then you'll get home and be like, oh, my insomniac ass is actually prepared to sleep. I'm going to do that, of course.
Right.
So anyway, you guys played Neo Twowie. Talk about it.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that immediately when I loaded the game, they're like, hey, would you like your demo save? And I'm like, I would like my demo save. Thank you. And then it just went, and it worked. I've been transferring saves so often with it not being simple. It felt refreshing.
Oh, yeah, Samurai Warriors did the same thing. It just worked.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't have to
Ooh,
boot.
thank God.
I didn't have to boot something else. So I jumped back into that. I'm on day 6 of the first week.
I'm only on day 3 of the first week because I didn't play the demo, so I didn't get like further ahead.
And I was getting into some of the systems, like after you beat the first couple of days, they start giving you new mechanics, like your social network, which is just it's a giant web of all the other characters in the game that you encounter. And there are side quests in this that give you friend points. And you use the friend points to buy those characters, and you just get a perk in the game related to them.
Oh, that's really neat and much better than, say, Scarlet Nexus.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to detract over here. Bob's looking at me, wondering why I'm hyperventilating. I now know why the U.S. team renamed Spanky's Quest.
Okay.
Here is the Japanese title for Spanky's Quest. Monkey Reflections, The Adventure of Mr. Jiro.
No, they should have rolled with that and been brave.
They should have just had giant text, Monkey Reflections. I would buy that.
Dude, that thing would be a household name where we would be begging for Spanky's Quest or Monkey Reflection to be on Switch Online.
They apparently didn't like the name even in Japan because even the Game Boy version is named something different. It is named Lucky Monkey, which seems a lot more logical than Monkey Reflection.
They should have been like Monkey Mirrors. It's like, are there mirrors in this game? Who cares?
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck's with this name. Anyway, here's a random picture of the Game Boy version. It's very cute. Anyways, I'm done. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Yeah, so you have that social network, which, they just tied to progress of meeting certain characters, and they have them for every, shopkeeper. So it comes down to this thing of doing things to unlock other stuff.
So you're saying there's a social aspect where you don't lock down for an hour straight and do social stuff that makes no sense?
I wouldn't even say it's like a social aspect at this point. It just becomes this thing of, yo, you did a quick side quest, which in this one was like, you'll get your other party member and their mechanic is, oh, they have bad vibes. I'm going to jump in their head and do some fights against noise. And then that fixes some of the issues, like noise is clouding their thoughts and stuff. And I did that to one of the characters that was from the first game, like a side character. And they're like, okay, you can now buy their social thing, which is just, I think they were the money one, but one of the perks you can get is you get pins in this that are worth money. This perk makes it so you don't have to sell them. They automatically deposit them as money in your account. And I'm like, that's great. So at the end of battles, they're like, we've transferred the funds. You don't have to go into a shop and then sell it to figure out if you have enough money because you have 4,000 or 5,000 yen pins. It's like, no, it just functions normally. And then you're getting this FP as you play through the game, and you can get ranks as you dive into people that are based on time. So if you can do it in the first minute, you get gold. And then you'll get better stuff. And after day 3, they let you know, yeah, you can just roll back to older days, skip all the cutscenes, and do whatever you want. So if there's something you did not...
that's a really great feature.
Yeah, you can just immediately hop in, get those golds, or any side quests you may have missed. So it's really easy to jump in and jump out for that. They're like, your whole party has their friend things unlocked. You just got to pay the points for them. You don't have to do anything else. And they're like, Minami Moto's unlocked hard mode. Your dipshit friend gives you easy mode. Which I think is great and fits both of them perfectly well.
It really fit. Now, by dipshit, do you mean fret?
Yes.
Okay, see, I was like, it would be really appropriate if the person who seems to be a cry typing manifested physically gave you easy mode.
That's really good. These days are much longer, I think, than the original games. I feel like I spent over an hour and a half on day 5 because there's just a lot of stuff you do in those, thanks to the mechanics you have, whether it's diving into people's heads to take on enemies or imprinting certain things, where it's you get keywords and then you can imprint a combination of words into someone's mind to help them either remember something or come up with some sort of idea, which I think is neat. And then your main character's thing, replay, where you time travel, and you can you jump back to things you did before and do different stuff with it. Where you will come up with a scenario where it's I can't do anything now. We're doomed. All right, let's do that again. And then with context, it leads to different stuff. Overall, I think that's been pretty good. The combat's also been a lot of fun.
The combat feels really smooth and nice.
Yeah, I've had a couple of issues with a couple of the pins where they've had certain dropped inputs, but I think it's just because some of them aren't suited for air combat. And sometimes I'm like, I want to use this in air combat. I'm like, this is not working at all.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I've had a really good time, like finding even new combos where I'm just ripping enemies apart. And then my brain's like, when I have enough time, I'm gonna do that thing I've been waiting to do, which is crank my level down to 1, set it to hard, and then just fighting a bunch of noise over and over where they're like, you changed this, the drop rate's 150 times more, and you're getting the rarest items.
That's so it really sets off my brain disease.
Mm-hmm. Like
I think my favorite pin so far is the one that I have it on Fret.
Mm-hmm.
Where he just throws fire spears into the enemy, and when you get enough in them, they explode and he deals splash damage.
Yeah, that's really good. I
also like Minamoto just having a kick.
Yes, and eventually you get the punch variant of that. They're introducing Uber pins, which are supposed to be the super strong ones that you can only have a limited amount depending on when you unlock holding them. And I put one on Rindo, and it's just a giant electric beam that you can just hold. So you're just adding on piles of damage. And then when you're fully synced, it just creates a giant box of electricity that's microwave.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, you can fuck some enemies up, which helps because sometimes you'll run to an enemy like a shark that just won't come out of the water that is the asphalt until I got something like the incredibly broken ice spear move where it just comes out of the ground.
Oh, hell yeah.
And has what seems to be the biggest hitbox I've ever seen. Where I'm killing multiple enemies by accident.
You know what's really cool? A lot of the pins here have like similar functions, like they shoot a projectile, they make a thing come up from the ground, you throw a thing. But they all feel good and do different things, unlike Balan Wonderworld.
You are correct. There is a decent amount of stuff here going on, and I kind of have to strategize where pins will eventually go on a cooldown, so I can't always do the exact same combo here.
You can't just monkey mash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't just
I really like the drop the beat mechanic, where if you pound on them long enough with one character, it'll be like, okay, if you hit him with another character right now before this gauge goes down, you get points for your super meter and do a bunch of damage.
Yeah, so I just kind of got into this mode where I had 2 mashing ones and 2 hold ones. So it just kind of became this thing of I'm mashing out this projectile and queuing up Fret summoning a giant boulder. Or if I'm out of both projectiles, I'm doing the ice thing that shoots up. It launches them, and then the rock hits them from the top of the screen on the way down. There's a lot of really good combo stuff in this. Story-wise, I think it's good. I'm liking all the characters a decent bit. Really interested in where things are going to go. I think again, I mentioned it during the demo, the focus on this being teams competing against each other. Real good choice. And they're actually really focusing it on it being a team thing with some of the ideas they're doing for certain days. So I'm having a great time. I can't wait to dig in more with it. Did you have anything, Phil?
No, I'm not as far as you. So it's like the combat's real good.
Yeah. Also that soundtrack.
I'm tired. I can't wait until I get more voice lines because I'm tired of hearing Fret yell, "Galaxy Brain activate!" whenever a fight starts.
I hope it never ends. It's so funny.
I'm assuming later on there will be more lines that will be pulled from a pool.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, you'll simply have other party members and other stuff.
I really like the moment when he renames your team.
Yes.
And internally Rindo's like, "Oh, you cringe piece of shit. That name's horrible."
There's one minor interaction bit that I see them doing where Fret will say something to the female party member, Nagi, and every single time she goes, I wasn't talking to you.
Ooh,
and it's happened like 3 times, and I'm like, oh shit. just murder him. But she's not necessarily mean though. So it's very weird.
Well, I mean, everyone's just latently mean to Fred. That's fine.
That's fine.
Fuck him.
Yes. He fulfills the role that he is destined for.
He should be grateful Yuri Lowenthal is Spider-Man, or he would be voiced by Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah, no, he is the most Yuri Lowenthal dude I can imagine.
He is. Instead, they got a bunch of like new VAs for a lot of these characters.
Yeah, it's new VAs who are going to suddenly be in everything the way that once Persona 5 came out and had mostly like a lesser known voice cast, that they suddenly all got huge.
Mm-hmm. Also, this game did a really good job of having as many sprites as possible for like your characters talking. Like, there's a lot of really, really good ones of just, even when they're not talking, it'll change in the background so you can just kind of see them emoting to whatever's being said.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, even the dude that sounds like Meowth has a bunch.
That dude rules.
I can't believe how close it is. It's just like, this dude's just Meowth. He just shows up, he looks like a rat, and is talking like Meowth.
Yeah, that dude with the crazy faces. Someone said Nomura specifically designed this guy, and I'm like, this is his best character of all time. He looks so deranged. But yeah, that should be about it for Neo Twoie. I played some of the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster this week.
Mm-hmm.
Those fucking remixes. Holy shit.
So let me open this up. I played Final Fantasy 1 up to getting the second crystal, so at least halfway. Might be a bit more. I kind of forget the structure. I feel like it starts going a little faster by this point. This is the best version of that game, like hands down. One, the presentation on it's really good, where it kind of just adds some like epicness to it, where I was playing out the intro and I'm like, they're really kind of going for it, despite this just being, the original NES game. The music is incredible. This is the best this game's ever sounded. Nobuo Uematsu was involved in all of these soundtracks, and you can tell because they went all out. It's kind of crazy. They even have some special edition time-lapse tracks where it starts out with the original and slowly evolves into the current song. That stuff's really good. Yeah, and they've shown a couple of those, and every single time I hear a track that I'm like, this is amazing, I go, they're doing 4, 5, and 6. and we're gonna get the best versions of stuff like Battle on the Big Bridge and Dancing Mad, and it's gonna be the coolest shit.
Okay, now Square Enix, I know you have no reason to do this, but you need to have them also remix the soundtracks of 7, 8, and 9, because I need Rose of May with this treatment.
God. Yeah, that's crazy. The sprites all...
I need Man with a Machine Gun with this remix treatment.
They really do just need to do this. Like, they really brought it with these arranged soundtracks, where a lot of times when they do it, I'm like, this is all right. But this makes me kind of just stop what I'm doing and go, what? You did this?
Yeah, a lot of the times when they do remixes, you hear like a nicer sound font.
Yeah.
This is different. This is, okay, we're on the overworld map of Final Fantasy 1, so it's going to sound symphonic. We're in battle now, shredding guitars. I'm like, you fucking get it. You instantly fucking nail it. Thank you so much for not making everything sound the same.
Because I listened to Cloud of Darkness from Final Fantasy 3, and it starts with the track and then I'm like, why are there electric guitars here now?
Because that's what they were supposed to be.
That's really encouraging. I didn't expect it to have straight up, there's real guitars.
Yeah. Like they actually really go in on this.
Why is this only on Steam? Why are they dumb?
I'm sure once they're actually done, they will be put on console.
Well, they did that thing they do, which confirms they're going to put it on console, where they said, if there's interest, we'll put it on console, which means we're being catty. They'll be on consoles in like 6 months.
Right. Yeah, that message gave me a stroke, where they're just like, oh, if console players are interested in Final Fantasy, and I'm like, eat my ass. You know what you're saying right now.
Right. It's
These
like,
are
no.
based on console games.
You should... God, that's so dumb.
We hope people on console like turn-based RPGs.
It's whatever. I'll buy them once they hit consoles, because they absolutely will.
I really hope they do something like this for 7, 8, and 9, because they already did that weird 8 remastered thing. So if they're like, okay, we got a fancy AI thing to upscale the pre-rendered backgrounds, and we slap in better models and these remixes, That's 3 games they could sell for $30 each, and I would put on my clown nose and buy them.
Oh yeah, no, then they could actually make all those games run right.
Oh, that would be cool.
It'd be really great.
That would be really great.
My issue I just had now was because they've had to like recreate these from the ground up, especially stuff like 3, where this hasn't been in sprite form since it came out on the NES, and we never played that. When Phil said that, I'm like, oh, so you want pixel remasters of 7, 8, and 9?
I take that too.
And then my
People
brain
would-
went,
people
I
would
want
like
that.
People
Oh, yeah.
would like that a lot. People have
yes.
done that themselves.
I
Yes.
want that. Because
no, people want that.
like
Absolutely.
these in general have a uniform look to them that I think is nice. The presentation, like you'll go in a dungeon, and the PSP had this, but this I feel like looks a little bit better. I enter like the marsh cave for the first time, and there's like a nice smoky fog effect. Or you're in Mount Golg, which is like the volcano, so there's like sparks coming out just to kind of like set the mood on top of the soundtrack. There's a lot of really good trimmings there that make it feel like they really wanted to make this look as good and as atmospheric as they could while keeping the general pixel style to it. So that looks good. They're focusing on the NES versions or like the original versions of these games. So, for example, when you play Final Fantasy 1 on any remaster since the GBA, they use MP. This goes back to spell points or spell charges.
It's like D&D rules.
Yes. So you have your level 1 spells and your like level 2, and they have a certain amount of charges, and you have a pool of spells that you get from that tier. So it works like that.
Weird.
And ethers are like, this restores one charge for like every tier. And it's perfectly fine to get through and everything. Like, I'm not having much difficulty with that. The game has auto battle, which when you hit it will queue up the moves, and it has cursor memory, and continue auto battle into the next fight is an option. And speeds up the game by about 40-ish%, it feels like. So it's very, very easy to like grind through enemies with it. I think the most important thing they added here, there's a map everywhere.
cool.
You
Good.
you press the square button in a dungeon, and it zooms out the tile set,
Ooh.
and you can move the
Yeah,
stick.
that
I
seems important.
I can open up any screen in any dungeon and know every dead end route. If there is a chest there, if there is a door there. This Final Fantasy 1 playthrough has been pleasant. I might bump it 2 points above what I gave it earlier this year when I played it, because I'm just having a great time.
That's awesome.
It's just as broken, which means I'm just using attack buff on Bob over and over again, so he does 8 times more damage than Dan.
Well, that's good. Bob is very strong.
Yes, he is very strong. He does not own a weapon. He just does it with his bare fists. It's a joy. The soundtrack is so much more than I could have hoped for this, and I think the graphical style here is great. I can't wait to play like 4 onward, where it's like adapting the ATB and everything, and just experiencing these games again. And it's also kind of cool, especially for FF3, where no one has typically played the pixel version of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm excited to do this because this will be my first time actually going all the way through 3.
Mm-hmm. And it's also different from those remakes. Those remakes completely redid the story in a way where it was you meet the characters as you play the first hour. Here, it's 4 onion knights that just fall in a cave.
you got to learn about the Wild Rose.
Oh yeah, you got to learn about the Wild Rose in Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah, I was like, that was 2, right?
Yeah, yes, it is. Man, those tracks sound great. You can't trick me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Today we just need to get some voice lines from Johnny Home Bosch in there to talk about the Wild Rose, and I'll be all in.
If these had voice acting, these would be like 10s because it already is really doing it. I will point out a couple of its shortcomings here. One, that font is really bad, where it's really scrunched. However, on the PC version, if you delete the English font file, take the Japanese one and rename it to English, it has an English version that looks normal and kind of looks like the PSP OS font, where it's like a bit wider and looks fine. RPG Site posted about it after they released their review saying, do this.
You know,
Didn't they
I
already
have a
announced
feeling.
they're putting in different text, like different font?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
Okay.
No, that was Legend of Mana remasters. Like we're
Okay,
giving you the
yeah.
very original pixel font. You know what? I can't. Square Enix has a pretty good like Western division feeding things back to the Japanese side. Like I know specifically the Final Fantasy 14 team is very, very close to the Japanese side. I have to imagine somebody's like, dude, they're putting out news articles on how to fix your shit. Put out a patch to fix your shit.
It's really funny because the former brand manager for Final Fantasy at Square Enix, now he does something else in merch. Shinji Hashimoto retweeted RPG Site's guide on how to change the font. I don't
Yeah,
know if
I
he
have a
understood
feeling-
what it meant.
I have a feeling that might be getting fixed.
Yeah, it seems like they might want to adjust that. The other thing, now, at first I was worried until I found the fix very fast. There's screen tearing on all of these games through the middle of the screen whenever you move.
Oh, that's terrible.
So I had to go into my NVIDIA settings and just say, force VSync on this program, and then it just worked. And it was not a problem. But I imagine they will patch that since it's happening literally to everyone. But it took me like a minute to fix. But other than that, these are fantastic. These look like these will be the best versions of all of these games, where it's like the original one souped up with the sprites focusing on being more like the original NES stuff or the original like Amano art. The music's great and the most critical thing, when you die, this game has autosaves to the last room.
Huh.
I died in a dungeon and they're like, all right,
Thank
you are now
you.
loading outside the last door you went in.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's all. This is really great shit.
Yes, which
I'm
means
really glad that
Mhm.
Square Enix has like learned how to do these things now.
yes.
Is there a way to turn that off?
What, the auto saving room thing?
Yeah.
Just say no to the load.
Okay. As long as they're still regular saves.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
they're literally, would you like to load your last save? And your most current save is that, but then you can just say no and then load your other one, and you have plenty of slots. It also has quick saves, at least on PC. And yeah, I'm just really jazzed that they managed to make this work out real well. And I don't know if the originals had or any of the re-releases had it so you can hit a shoulder button to make who you're controlling party leader. I don't know if they did that till like 4. But it's nice to do that, just so you can have a different person running around in the overworld. But yeah, these were really good, and I'm glad because, good God, this was the run back after the iOS ones that are the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where they forced the original sprite artist to make something mobile friendly, and it looked bad. And now they're like, okay, can you just draw a sprite? And she's like, I can do that. I made all the old ones.
Yeah, remember, Black Mage, one of the most iconic designs in video game history? I did that.
Terra, basically the protagonist of Final Fantasy VI, she was a sprite before Amano made art.
Now her feet are big.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
That's really funny and honestly endearing. Of just like, man, that's bad pixel art. Nice. Her feet are huge. What a fucking mistake that was. Where they're just like, man, this is a curved angle. I'm not sure. This might be 1 pixel too small. Then they add an extra pixel, and everyone goes, so she's part horse? Is that canon?
No, she has gigantic shoes.
Espers are weird.
Espers are pretty weird. Will her feet be big in Esper form? We just don't know.
This is why we're waiting.
No.
We gotta wait so long. That's the last one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez. The suspense.
Yeah, the suspense on how they're gonna duel that. out.
Rydia's head is gonna look like a fucking bobblehead when they get to 4.
Man, I'm so excited. It's gonna look so good. I get to see the new updated Cuck sprite for Final Fantasy IV's Kain. It's gonna be real good.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's this time I will name Palom and pour him fucking dip and shit.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna do too, because once you know.
Yes, the chat was really was a back and forth of for and against it, deadlocked. They're like, no, they're great, and I'm like, no, I was right. I can't believe I let them influence me. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing 4 through 6. Mainly so I can finally stream through 5. I'm waiting because, good lord, these are like really, really good. Oh yeah, FTC. I got these for free, by the way. So
Yeah, please do not make KZ pay $500 for these things that would have been $30.
Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag free product. Same with Neo Tui. Hashtag sponsored.
Oh, okay.
Fancy.
I did not get Neo Tui for free. I paid for it with money.
See? Boom.
I also paid for it with money and didn't talk about it.
I just, times are tough and Dan deserves rent money. So we had to make some dirty dealings of, I'm going to say your game's great anyway, so you might as well just fucking give it to me.
Listen,
is that how all your emails open when you ask for game code?
Yeah. KZ, I don't think, please give me a free copy. I'm a mark. Works out.
Are you sure that's how I've been so successful so far?
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I guess it makes sense. Yeah, I guess it makes sense to keep those people happy.
It works more for the audience where it's like, I mean, I'm not compromised. You already knew what would happen.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh man, I'm really.
He was gonna be on the fence about this one. It's like, no, not really.
I can't believe the guy with the background full of different keyblades likes Neo Tui.
I can't fucking believe this.
It's like, as it turns out, I like good video games.
Did you play anything else this week?
No, aside from the Pokemon Unite that since the podcast, I played 25 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
Jesus.
It's been real good.
Dude, we played it every day for those dailies for 3 hours at least.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And in the middle of you talking about Neo Tui and other shit, I finally got my audio plugged. I paid way too much for it working at OBS. For a second there, I was shitting my pants.
Yeah, it rhymes with blunder ballers. This is what we do for podcasts, audience.
Yeah, actually.
Thank you, Patreon.com.
Thank you, Patreon.
GP podcast.
Yeah, no, this shit.
You'll get it again later.
You know what? I'll go ahead and say it. So we have the entire duration of these podcasts relied upon a device, $200 box. It's called a DBX286S. It's an audio processor, and it gives you a lot of input gain, which these mics need. Here's the problem. Eventually, they die. And they don't die abruptly. They don't cease functioning. They just go, maybe Bob should be really quiet like a little mouse.
like on a stream.
Yeah, so in the middle of last Friday's.
We put Bob in a well.
In the middle of
there now.
No. She's like, I'm not twapped in here with you. You're twapped in here with me.
And then throws the boiling oil into Bob's face.
Yeah, so we've been dealing with that. We have $600 worth of DBXs. Over time, I bought $1,000 worth because 2 of them already just croaked. We still have them. One of them just got a static we couldn't get rid of, and then the other one went quiet, and now one of our current 3 that we use went quiet, so we decided that it was time for the nuclear option, doing all of this in post.
Yeah, I'm scared for mine of it getting quiet and then no one can hear me anymore.
Then Dylan's louder than you.
No! Sit down.
Yeah, I've started to unplug mine when it's not in use.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will extend its lifespan.
Yeah, that should definitely extend its lifespan. So we that's $600 of DBXs I have currently running. Instead, I've now replaced it with a $550 set of plugins, audio plugins made by a professional company, and it's working with OBS. So that's good. It'll handle it for the podcast and it'll handle it for OBS. And in the future, we may actually be able to cut out one of the things we spend money on monthly, depending. I may be able to handle all of this in post instead of uploading it to the cloud. But instead of talking about that anymore, Feel, did you play anything that hasn't been talked about?
Yes.
What did you play?
First of all, here's time for one of the stupidest played segments ever. I played a bunch of Minesweeper until I realized Minesweeper was bullshit and not a puzzle game.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I had that experience as a kid too, where I was like, oh, this is a really cool puzzle game. And then you realize it's random and sometimes it's just not going to be made well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay, is there some tactic I don't understand where I don't have to guess? And it's like, no, you'll always reach a point where you have to guess. I'm like, then it's not a fucking puzzle game, is it?
Is it Steve?
Now get the act.
Something to be a puzzle, it has to be solvable with logic.
Yeah.
You have logic and luck.
So
Thank you, Jetpack
did
Joyride.
I did learn a thing I never knew though, which is that if you left and right click a square at the same time, once you've marked all the mines, it will just clear every single square attached to that square.
Oh.
Which, if you're wrong, will kill you, but it will save you a lot of time if you play a lot of Minesweeper. The other thing I played was Shadow Warrior Classic. I'm gonna pull out my notes for this because it's important.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Shadow Warrior sucks.
Oh,
Okay.
First of all, the level geometry is designed to fuck you. I have never played a game where the walls had so many like ridges for you to get caught on if you're trying to run backwards. It's like almost every single wall. And doorways have like frames like real doors, except in other first-person shooters, they don't actually have like a rim because you'll get caught on them. I've never gotten caught on geometry more playing a first-person shooter than in this game.
okay. Is there any like ground-based geometry you get caught on too?
No, it's like nothing on the ground.
At least
because it's technically not real 3D.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it's build engine, right?
It's a build engine game like Duke and Blood.
Yep.
The enemies are horrible. Almost every enemy in the game can one hit you.
What?
The basic enemies have the most basic enemy type are evil ninjas. There are 4 varieties of evil ninja, and you can tell what variety is because the color of their denim jeans is different. Now, I don't have a problem with this on paper. Blood does this with cultists and is fine. In Shadow Warrior, their health pools are also wildly different. So you have to scan a room full of guys and go, that one shoots a fucking rocket that'll instantly kill me. I better switch to one of the weapons that can one hit him because he also has 5 times as much health as one of the normal ones. Also, most of the weapons in Shadow Warrior are bad. The shotgun is conceptually cool. It has 4 barrels that revolve, and it has an alt fire that shoots all 4 in rapid succession, but nothing is killed by this. You dump 4 shells, and unless it's a low tier enemy, it ain't going down. There's a railgun that seems broken. It just seems like they couldn't make it work. You get no response on hitting something with it, which is like, oh, well, it's a railgun, it pierces through them. But they don't make a sound. They don't enter a pain state. The only reason I can tell I'm hitting something sometimes is because like a couple splashes of blood will come out of them. It also isn't strong enough.
Yeah, I was like, wait, you're hitting with a railgun, they're not dying?
The railgun, this is a real problem Shadow Warrior has. Like, the railgun also has very little ammo for like a retro shooter weapon. You can hold 20 shots max, but it doesn't kill anything above the low tier in one shot. It's gonna take 2 or 3. There's also a weapon called the Guardian Head, which is like the protagonist shoving his hand in the brain of this enemy and holding their head. It's really cool and powerful. It has basically no ammunition. You burn through its ammo so quickly. You kill like 2 things with it and you'll be out from max. So your main weapons are explosive weapons, which is real fucking funny for a ninja. I like that they differentiate the rocket launcher and the grenade launcher differently because the rocket launcher doesn't have a ton of splash damage. It has very little actually. You can almost use it in melee and walk out fine. The grenade launcher bounces and you can bounce it around walls, which is really useful. Also, it has the biggest splash damage of almost any weapon I've ever used in a video game. The splash damage on the grenades in Shadow Warrior is cartoonish. You can be 100 feet away and take damage. It's like almost as big as the nuke in Shadow Warrior. I was like, why are the level? Also, most of the levels are just bad. And I was like, why are the levels in this bad? The levels in Duke are fine, and this is mostly the same people. So the philosophy about those games is like, let's make a real world place in the build engine.
Yes.
It's very obvious that like in Duke 3D, it's like, okay, here's a convenience store, here's a grocery store, here's McDonald's. Shadow Warrior is all like places you know they've never been, but are still trying.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Because it takes place in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, here's a Japanese subway station. Here's a Japanese office building. It's like, this feels like this feels less advanced than Duke 3D. It feels like you skinned a Doom level differently. It also had really dickish parts where it's like, well, where the fuck do I go? Where do I go? I have to look up a guide for this level because I don't know where to go. It's like, idiot. Inside the fireplace on the inside wall, inside of the front wall of the fireplace, there's a ladder.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's like the way I put it is like, I like the progression through Shadow Warrior levels more than Duke levels, but the Duke levels are better. It's just that the Duke levels are way more bullshit switch hunting than the Shadow Warrior levels, but the Shadow Warrior levels have shit like that. Like, and then I beat it and was kind of lukewarm on it, and, you know, maybe I should play the 15 level expansion, Twin Dragons. I now hate Shadow Warrior.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That is not the direction I was hoping this was going.
It was like, did you finish that expansion?
Yes, I did, because I have a brain disease. And then I had to uninstall it or else I would play the thing that was never technically released, Wanton Destruction.
How was it never technically released? What happened?
So 3D Realms contracted Sunstorm Interactive, who made a bunch of Duke 3D expansions, and they made a Blood expansion, and they made a Redneck Rampage expansion.
Man.
Contracted them to make Shadow Warrior expansion. And it just never came out. But it was basically done. And then one of the people who worked on Sunstorm was like, yeah, I found this on my hard drive. You can just have an internet and just put it up online. And when they released Shadow Warrior Classic Redux, that was included. By the way, if you hear this and decide to play Shadow Warrior anyway, do not play Shadow Warrior Classic Redux. That port is trash. I had to crack it open with like model editors to fix the mines, which are invisible otherwise.
Why? That's weird.
Because something's fucked up. So the mines, which are voxel entities, are underground. So fucking play it in Build GDX or one of those source ports. That also fixes the cheats, which Redux broke for some reason. Because like I want to try this level specifically again. It's like, no, we broke the warp cheat somehow. I'm like, fuck, God, come on, you suck so bad. Also, it crashes a lot, and Build GDX for my knowledge does not crash at all. Another reason Shadow Warrior sucks is nothing in it is iconic at all.
It's not a Ubisoft game.
That's why the reboot carried over nothing except the name Lo Wang.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the name Orochi-Zilla. It didn't keep any weapons. It didn't keep any enemies. Lo Wang isn't a good character with good lines. He sucks. Like, Duke Nukem's a character. Like, you can describe traits of Duke Nukem.
Right.
Lo Wang is a guy doing a funny voice, doing a funny accent.
Yeah, and saying some really skeezy shit. That's
saying really skeezy shit. I'm excited to eventually play Power Slave, the other big build game, and Redneck Rampage, and be like, yeah, those are better than Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, of course, Power Slave's better than fucking Shadow Warrior. Power Slave basically is what went on to be Metroid Prime. Like,
apparently only the console versions, Dan.
Oh.
The PC versions of Power Slave, I think, is a normal first-person shooter.
Oh, that's a shame.
And I think although I think somebody recreated the console versions in like a source port.
Yes, I heard something about that.
Was that the first-person shooter we played that
on
was
the Saturn?
Egyptian based?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, Power Slave's pretty fucking cool. Weirdly enough, I enjoyed Quake 2 on the PS1 more, but I'm not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to enjoy Quake 2 on the PS1 because it's not Quake 2.
But yeah, it's like I thought Duke 3D was okay. I really loved Blood. Blood is if you take anything away from these, you need to play Blood. You can also buy Blood Fresh Supply on Steam. It works great. It's a great port. Unlike the Shadow Warrior one and the Duke Nukem 3D one. Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, but play Blood. Oh, by the way, Randy's levels in Shadow Warrior, the worst levels.
I can't believe it.
Maybe Shadow Warrior 3 will be the big turnaround for this series. It'll be good.
Shadow Warrior, the first reboot one was not like it was a 7th gen game ultimately. Then Shadow Warrior 2 tried to be Borderlands for some reason and have procedural generation. I don't know why they did that. But Shadow Warrior 3 looks like they're actually trying to make a normal video game
I mean,
again.
Shadow Warrior 3 looks like we have Doom Eternal at home,
It
Yeah.
does.
and that's
There's
great.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I absolutely want other people to make that style thing. Their kill animations to be 4 times as fast.
Yes, that's definitely something they should work on.
Yeah.
That's all I played.
Oh, okay. Then it's time to talk about the people who helped me buy the audio plugin to keep this train going.
Oh, who's that?
The
fuck.
Podlords.
Oh, fuck. Thank you, Podlord.
Shit.
Oh, right, them.
Bob is the anti-Rich Evans. Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Dobo Muito Real,
Yes.
Red Blaze 27, Weapons Grade Juice of Frost, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero, Shibuya Gato. Disney Versus will also feature Goku, Reen, Kamen Riders, and BTS once Disney buys Japan and South Korea.
Yo.
To answer your question, Dan, Patreon does not inform you when you hit the character limit for profile names. It'll just cut off.
Oh, okay. Sorry for assuming.
Row.
101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. Gary Turfmaster. WTF Spider-Man. Mr. I Like Spam. Modern Mage. Thinking about how a Herlock Sholmes versus Columbo Deductive Showdown would go and was wondering, is Columbo the Jiren of detectives?
Yes.
Maybe.
No, because Jiren isn't a cosmic force.
That's a fair assessment.
Jiren is the god of destruction of detectives. He's the El Grande Padre.
Yes.
Columbo versus El Grande Padre.
Yeah.
He owns you and they just dissolve.
DFW 3K. The name field doesn't have a character limit. Only checking your main profile page shows what Patreon cut off. B movie fits.
Yes. I like how you just shooting the earlier Pond Lord for not double checking.
It's really good. Dan's Xbox Series Son used self-destruct. KZX Son endured. KZX Son win.
Yes.
Kristen. The obligatory anime delinquent Tonberry.
Oh.
The bat says doink
Oh,
on
that's
it.
really good. He's Metal Bat. That's fucking great.
Got him acting like an amateur. Devil Summoner Rindo Kuzunoha versus Digital Devil Saga Steam Deck Edition. Sentient Beard Adam Adbar. Kyle Bjork. I'm back. My Podlord status reinstated. I've awakened to the true world. Zilter. Twelwie on Switch is a fucking disaster, but I must for Neo. 3 men and a Banny.
I'm giving you that face while just putting my hand on your shoulder.
So which one of you gets killed by an anvil in the finale?
I assume KZ.
Yes.
Blig the blue, schlig this boo. Go home and be a family man.
Please.
Podlord next week, I'm going to need that image again, but with Guile hair photoshopped onto Vin Diesel.
Yes, that's your assignment.
God, he'd be a really good Guile if they make another Street Fighter movie.
He would be a fucking excellent top tier goddamn guy. Lock the Chest watches MASH. Episode 1. They call a black surgeon a spear chucker and sexually harass nurses.
Oh no. Oh,
It sure was a
God.
show from the 70s.
That's so bad.
Oh.
I gotta go.
I thought it'd be
man.
bad. I didn't think it'd be this bad.
I thought it would be bad. I didn't think it would be this bad on episode 1.
Right? You think that just sprinkled in?
Yeah, I thought half of this would be in one random episode written by some asshole, then the other half would be in another random episode written by some other asshole, not
We picked the better old show.
Yeah, of course. Columbo wins, always. Monster Hunter Rising and Raiden. Golden Girls is a slice of life that is Gap Moe. It is the prototype of American ecchi comedy sitcom.
That is all correct.
Sadly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you for being my Nakama.
Sniping Banny with solar beams. Paul Penis.
Oh.
Claims to be pro-life. Stay tuned.
Oh, that's fucking Steven Crowder who keeps like having smoke blown in his face and then his lung collapses.
Feeding my dog boy into mandatory soul grinder for more Genshin Impact rolls.
You gotta save up I think the god is coming in like two banners from now.
So Quark from Star Trek Deep Space and Dr. Nefarious have the same actor.
What?
Yeah, they sure do.
Yep.
Oh God, that's way too.
Oh, that's rough.
That fits way too well now.
You're
rough.
trying to trick me into watching Deep Space. You can't do it. I'm not
do
going to
it.
watch Deep
Deep
Space
Space-
Nine.
I'll watch it with you.
Fuck you, watch Deep Space Nine, it fucking rules.
Incompetent hospital staff is not true strength.
What? What?
What?
I just thought it was funny because he has a suit and it's got a watermark on it.
Oh, yeah, it does. Today's the big day. Don't forget to pre-order your play dates.
Oh no, I
I
forgot.
can't wait to play Final Fantasy 15. It won't be ready till February at least. On the play date.
Beat 'em up character select.
Yeah.
Indigo Sykes. Fuck you, KZ. I'm not going back. Also, you could call me Alatos Diogenes.
Yeah, I don't get. I don't know.
Spot the gold Lewis Dickinson mains by their 2DX controllers. Because they could just spin it.
Yeah, I know.
BN12. Evil Lucario. Remember to sign up for the Clutchins Insider Program to be invited to the Clutchins Technical Preview. A. Tanuki.
Look at him.
It's a fucking unit. Bob Marley. Are you even edited in there?
I don't think so.
What is
I don't know, man.
Valkyrie
Yeah.
Skies. Fun MiHoYo fact. They're 10 years old and have 2,400 employees and their own anime music studios and 4 gacha games with a fifth upcoming BT. And then it ends.
We'll never know.
And aspiring Bamani ambassador, Shinji16. Thank you very much to our podlords and all of our patrons.
Thank you, patrons.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
podlord.
you, patrons. Thank you, podlords. And if you'd like to become a podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches, and gamer premonitions sometimes, and a Patreon exclusive show wherein you get to vote on what we watch for that Patreon exclusive show. It changes every month between 2. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can tell your friends. And if you don't have any friends, you can make some and then tell them about us.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to teach you to be outgoing so they can give us money too.
Yo, if you're looking at someone and you're like, I want to be their friend, how about you walk up and say, hey, did you know Pac-Man was going to be called Puck-Man, but then they were worried people would graffiti it into Fuck-Man? That's how you open a conversation.
Yeah, because your best friends will come from that and everyone else will just run.
Befriending someone who that is the first thing they said to you, that's true strength. Feel?
Yes.
Start blasting.
Yeah. Hey, fuck you, Google. You broke the fucking extension to Chrome that lets you that makes image search useful. You know, where you can go directly to the image instead of having to find it, you know, in whatever hellscape website it's on. The thing that you let people do for years until you decided, no, people were crying because they won't go into the web page and give them traffic that we can artificially inflate and fucking destroy comedy sites all across the entire internet. Don't make a Chrome extension that fixes it. That's not fair. We're gonna break the Chrome extension intermittently. Fuck you. Fuck them.
Yeah, they need to stop that. Do you have any news that involves blasting?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say this right now.
Okay.
We're not going to in-depth cover everything related to Blizzard
There's a lot.
because there's too much, and too much of it isn't different from what we already did last week. So whenever there is something major that comes out, we will blast them, like right now. So fucking Bobby Kotick put out his stupid, hacky, hand-wringing, craven press statement.
But
Yeah.
that came after all the bad ones.
Yeah, that came out after all the bad ones, and people and morons, idiots, got suckered in a little bit. Like, he said those first ones were bad, so he must really mean it. Activision Blizzard has hired the union-busting organization WilmerHale to help them suppress this current bout of workers maybe wanting to not be sexually harassed and maybe unionizing, but like, no, we have to crush them. This is the one that fucking Amazon deployed in their recent union battle.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so this is industrial power shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's bad. Fuck them.
Yeah.
God, he's the fucking worst. Bobby Kotick, I mean.
Yeah.
He's like, might be the biggest dirtbag in gaming.
He might be. Pitchford's making him try. Luckily, Pitchford does not have nearly as much power as Bobby Kotick.
Thank fucking God.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That would be truly awful.
But like, fuck Blizzard. Also, fuck Riot, because a lot of people from Blizzard went over to Riot, including one person who was a regular visitor to the Cosby Suite. Which, by the way, I don't know how you can see those pictures of the photo of Bill Cosby in the room surrounded by liquor bottles like they're set up for harassment, and not be like, everybody sewn in a picture in this room should be in jail.
And
Every single person?
And then they'll make
Yeah.
statements like, I'm so sorry for all these things that have happened. My door's always open. I'm like, is that a threat?
I think I always did the right thing when I worked at Blizzard. People dig up tweets of this that they did not delete about the Cosby Suite.
Actually, some of it were Facebook posts, and they said it was the sickest private conversation they'd ever had. And I'm like, yeah, it was private. Then you posted it on Facebook, and then 8 years later it surfaced. So, irony.
And then you put out a Weasley Craven statement about your group work chats that leaked, and you saying racist and sexist things. And you're like, I'm sorry. I really hope I'm going to have a job in a week. He's not going to have a job in a week.
Yeah, it's been really rough where people are just like, how's it keep happening? Me getting DMs saying, I know you do Big Think on Thursdays. Have you seen this? And it's just a picture of, this is Greg Street, head of Riot's unannounced MMO, and soon to be canceled and blacklisted for being a founding member of the Cosby Suite.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also got DMs, of course, about various news things, and yeah, please don't do that. Firstly, if we're gonna cover something, we're gonna cover it regardless of whether or not you DM us stuff.
Yeah.
So don't.
Yeah.
Secondly, yeah, this thing is so in depth that it really can't keep up with literally all of it. This is not the format for that. That's a dedicated YouTube video that's 40 minutes long at least, where they detail.
That's gonna be Into the Rabbit Hole.
Right.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah,
Down the
I was
rabbit
gonna say,
hole,
you-
Activision Blizzard.
That's what you want. You want that or an update of the week constant YouTuber. And that's not really what we're doing here, but the Blizzard stuff is fucking terrible. And the Riot stuff has always been terrible.
Yeah, it's
And when
been
there's
rough.
a big thing, we will bring it up. Also, by the way, the state of California is also suing Riot now
Good.
for all the exact same shit.
Oh, man, that's great.
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, this is bullshit. When even Ubisoft's like, hey, we also hate this. We're also kind of in hell.
Okay.
And they're French.
And with that out of the way, we're gonna move on news-wise. I'll bust through my stuff really fast.
Good.
Most meaningless update of this week. PlayStation Now is now 1080p instead of 720p. Still has a heinous input lag because that's the nature of that shit. But hey, at least they're at parity with Xbox, because I think the game streaming on Xbox might be 1080p.
Did they
I
get
know
that?
they might only be 720p at this point, but there are other services like Stadia and Luna that are 1080p.
Allegedly.
Stadia is allegedly 4K.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, but yeah, it's good for them to upgrade that, but it's still like no one wants it. What they want is real back compat. Let's see, what are some other ones I can bust out real quick? IGN did an interview with Gabe Newell about the Steam Deck where he talks about like where the idea came from, their opinions on the Switch and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. It's a really good interview. Ryan McCaffrey runs it, which for people who haven't heard me praise Ryan McCaffrey before, Ryan McCaffrey does very excellent interviews for IGN with various game industry press. Unfortunately, that sort of stuff from him declined last year because of the pandemic, but it was really great to see him interview with Gabe Newell, even though he went crazy Xbox fanboy in the middle of it. And he's like, did you tell Microsoft you're making an Xbox portable? It's a Game Pass machine. And then Gabe
that's
Newell just
cringy.
stares at him.
That's really cringy.
And then he's like, "Are you in a
Watch it come
padded
out.
room, Ryan?"
Watch it come out that Python doesn't work with any of the Game Pass versions of games. Or not Python, Proton.
Okay, there we go. I was like,
Their compatibility.
yeah.
Yeah, their compatibility layer. It's just like something about the.
I mean,
something
of course
about
it
the
doesn't.
Game Pass versions.
Of course not. It wouldn't. You have to install Windows. But Ryan McCaffrey acts like this is a really simple thing that everyone's going to do it, and they just made an Xbox portable. And did they tell Microsoft? And he's like,
Which
mean-
almost certainly makes the performance on everything worse.
yes, of course it does. Gabe Newell just stared at him, and he's like, well, you know more than they do, right? As of right now, because we brought you here to our headquarters to talk to you about it. Like, man, this is a weird conversation. But yeah, it's an excellent interview. There's some good bits in that worth checking out. Another excellent interview. Former Sony executive Sean Layden did another interview with GameIndustry.biz, where the headlining quote and the title of the article is like talking about how consolidation of the game industry is the enemy of diversity. But he doesn't just talk about that. He also talks about a lot of things, gaming budgets. Like he's talking about Sony's games are going to end up costing $200 million by the time the PS5 gets in its prime. That's what he's estimating. And that's a shitload of money. Like last gen, it was about 120 million. That's a fuckload of money. Anyways, he talks about budgets. He talks about the struggle of funding indie games and how a lot of the times to get the funding that indies do, they make them jump through hoops to go do a GoFundMe. And when that's successful, then the publishers will throw in money. A lot of the time indies get bought up as a part of the funding of their indie game, stuff like that. He talks about streaming platforms, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all very interesting, but I know how this podcast works though. So I'm just going to post this bit about streaming subscriptions. Have fun, everybody. I'm going to read this quote out loud for the podcast.
Okay.
Quote, it's very hard to launch a $120 million game on a subscription service charging $9.99 a month. You pencil it out, you're going to have 500 million subscribers before you start to recoup your investment. That's why right now you need to take a loss-leading position to try to grow that base. But still, if you only have 250 million consoles out there, you're not going to get 500 million subscribers. So how do you circle that square? No one has figured that out yet. Game Pass is very sustainable.
Definitely.
Like I'm just gonna say this. Like I feel like I've said this about Game Pass before, but maybe not with these specific words.
Okay.
If something's if there's 3 parties involved in Game Pass, the people running it, you, and the developers, only 2 of those people are gonna get a good deal.
Yeah, it's literally impossible for all 3 people to get a good deal because one of the people is the content, the other person's buying it, and the other person is the people taking a cut, right?
And maybe right now, Microsoft is the one not getting a good deal. But eventually, they have to get a good deal, which means either you, the customer, are going to wake up and their Netflix and is like, it's $30 a month now. Or, more realistically, they're going to hope that their market share has swollen enough that they can crush developers into dust.
I assume they're splitting the difference, right? They're going to try to get the good deals from the developers, the exploitative level good deals from the developers, and they're also going to hit $25, $30 a month eventually. Because, this is something that I tried to explain a number of times, but it helps to have Sean Layden, who used to work for PlayStation, managing budgets and all these other things, dealing with all these first parties, literally come out here and say, yeah, you can't make a $120 million game. You know, like Gears 5 would be that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't make that and then make it free on Game Pass or something like Game Pass at $10 a month and keep doing that. That's not sustainable.
Not at launch, at least. You need at least like a 6-month
Right. You need
window
to sell
or a year window.
You need to sell copies. And as Bob can tell you, working at GameStop when they put Gears 5 on Game Pass, it didn't sell copies.
No, it already felt like they just dropped advertisement for that game completely, and then they put it on Game Pass too. So it's like the few people did order it did not pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was an interesting interview. Worth checking out, not just for the Game Pass stuff. As I mentioned, there's tons of interesting things in that. Just look up Sean Layden, Consolidation, Diversity, Games Industry Biz. Moving on, they did a live stream of the technical preview for Halo Infinite's multiplayer. I checked it out for a second. It looks so much like Halo 5's multiplayer. I'm a little bummed.
Yeah, that's what bugged me too.
But at least it looked like 5, which I enjoyed the multiplayer at all in 5, unlike 4. I tried to play 4 again with the audience. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, it felt like Time to Kill was still really quick for a Halo game.
Absolutely. I love watching people crawl out of the holes to be like, guys, it's their moral imperative as a game developer to make their shooter like the successful ones. I'm serious. I saw this shit on Twitter. I'm like, you're insane. You realize Halo,
was a successful one before they decided to try this.
Right.
Yeah, before they died, then Call
Before
of
they
Duty
decided
came up.
Halo should be Call of Duty.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, God.
But once again, at least Halo 5 was remotely fun for me, and they have some fun ideas for gameplay in Infinite
Yeah.
that are also in the multiplayer. So that's something.
I just had a lapse of brain because I'm watching a stream because people are getting codes now, so a bunch of people are streaming it.
Yeah.
And I went, oh man, he's sprinting and it's Halo, and I'm like, this is kind of like Destiny PvP, and then my brain went, oh yeah, no shit.
I feel like Destiny feels like Halo more than Halo 5.
But also this has a bit more of that Halo quality of the dude pulling up the shotgun and having to do a few shots before the person falls down.
Yeah, not everyone has the best shotgun in Destiny. I did, but
well, usually when you get a shotgun in Destiny, you make sure you have it when you're 1 inch away from someone, so they're gone now.
Yes.
But yeah, this looks fine. I kind of associate Halo not with sprinting though.
Yeah, most people who really like Halo from back in the day hate every time a new Halo has sprinting. I saw a lot of people do meltdowns over Infinite's gameplay. I enjoyed Halo 5's multiplayer. I'm very excited for this new Halo Infinite multiplayer because it's free to play and it's across everything. So it should be easy to get lobbies. It should be easy to give this game a real fucking chance. I'm excited.
Yeah, I signed up for the beta. I did not get put in, but I wanted to try that real bad.
I have a Series X and a very capable gaming PC, so I'll be able to check this out for sure. But we're going to move on. Just wanted to note that's how that felt when I looked at that footage. So a lot of websites and YouTube channels started erroneously reporting that some states in the United States are banning gaming PCs. What? Did you guys see any of
No,
this?
I didn't see this.
Okay.
I saw it, but I immediately came to the conclusion that turned out to be 100% correct.
Because
I'm not a moron.
Yeah, how the fuck would you do that? Is this PC able to play video games? So here's what actually happened. For people who don't know, the power supply in your computer has an efficiency rating, meaning how much it draws from the wall and how much of that it converts into energy usable by your PC. The regulations in 6 different states, one of which is California, have been instated now where the power supplies have to be of a certain level of efficiency. So like say 85% or 90% of what you consume gets actually used and delivered to your PC. That's what was banned. So here's the weird part. Dell has a specific gaming PC that they were selling that did not use a proper power supply. So it's now not orderable in 6 different states.
Of course it's Dell.
Here's the even more bizarre part. Dell is a part of the committee or consortium that knew this shit was happening 3 years ago.
Everything I've heard about Dell is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Especially their customer service going by Super Eye Patch Wolf's video.
I mean, yes, watching Gamers Nexus go through every single system integrator, every single order a PC website, and Dell just fucked up multiple times,
Yeah.
really hardcore.
But just in general, when I went through that video, I know you can't just put an SSD in a Dell computer. You have to buy their slot device to put an SSD that they made in it.
Yes, Dell literally
off.
literally invents proprietary shit formats for their own fucking motherboards, so that way you can't replace the shit in it.
Yes.
Fuck Dell. Oh my god. Yeah, this whole situation is clown shoe shit. Of just everyone going, they're banning gaming PCs. And it's like, no, they're banning bad power supplies. Dell's still using a bad one.
If you live in a state without one of these laws, though, maybe you can get something clear, something cheaper.
Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, power supplies have come a long way. I actually did replace the one in the PC. Fun fact, I've been running the Gigaboots PC for almost 11 years now on the same power supply. So we're blessed that it lasted that long because the best warranties in the industry only last 10 years. And this thing's a tentacle beast. It was before the advent of modular power supplies, as they call them. So every single connector you could possibly ever need is always connected.
Yeah.
So it looks like an octopus. It's fucking scary, and it's hard to fit in most cases. But I replaced it. New thing's fine. It's platinum grade, so it's very, very power efficient. So I don't know. It's not that hard to get a power supply that's of an efficiency rating to not be banned in California. Dell's just a shit company.
Right. Literally everything in your PC will cut every possible corner.
Yeah, and then fill it with literal sewage.
Yeah.
They're going to turn out to be one of those companies like, instead of thermal paste, we used mayonnaise.
Funny that you say that. That is actually one of the parts of the Gamers Nexus review of their Dell PC they ordered that bombed terribly. They used an Intel style heatsink on an AMD board, but then didn't make a properly sized heatsink and just put a shitload of thermal paste in there to bridge the gap. It was terrible, and it made the parts drastically underperform. Fuck Dell. Anyways, we're moving on. The Coalition, for people who don't know, that's a Gears of War developer nowadays, did a GDC panel. I believe they did two, but they talk about their experiments with Unreal Engine 5. They talk about performance and stuff, and they basically confirm, Lumens, their global illumination solution, is not performant enough for a 60 frames per second game at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's still early days for Unreal Engine 5, but they did a ton of optimizations, and it's still not fast enough, at least on their side. They also went into detail talking about the difficulties of making character models, environment models of the fidelity that they're now capable with Unreal Engine 5. It's just, they're like, I can't remember the exact number, but they're like, yeah, our software really doesn't like it when we try to export a $500,000 or 500,000 polygon model or 500 million. Yeah, anyway, point is, it's a really interesting GDC panel. They talk about it on last week's DF Direct. Alex Battaglia details it. They also talk about Series S and stuff, and Richard Ledbetter starts talking about there may come a day where we have a 30 frames per second version of a game that's 60 on a Series X, like the Series S may have to drop down to 30 just because the realities of pushing fidelity that is this high,
Yeah, I was like, haven't we already hit that with something?
I think we may have a game out there, but I don't keep track of that stuff because I'm not an insane person with Sony Studios or Microsoft Studios in my banner image.
Right.
Ask those people; they might know. They're probably also wrong. Anyway, that was a really good GDC panel. One of them is available for free. I think the other one's paid for. Big news of the week for people who own PS5s. The beta firmware that allows people to use SSDs is out in beta. It's getting tested right now, but it has a number of other features we're going to go over real quick. 3D audio support for TV speakers.
Woo.
You can use the DualSense to measure the acoustics of your room to better tune it if you want. You don't have to. Thank you, Christ. My speakers are good enough. This is literally what I told you guys how this would work a year ago. This is, editor note. Goddamn, I'm smart. They have user interface improvements, thank Christ. For example, PS4 versions of games and PS5 versions of games are distinct and separate icons on your fucking screen.
Thank God.
Oh, hey, this probably fixes the Ninja Gaiden collection.
Hopefully.
And they have a logo, a little iconography for if it is the PS4 or the PS5 version, and you can just tell by looking.
Good.
I hope it's a good logo, unlike their your game. This is a physical game
Yeah, that
logo,
that better be
which
fixed
is
too.
which is which is just a white padlock, meaning that if the game's box has a lot of white in it, you can't see it.
Yep, it sucks real bad. They also have full customization for the control center, which is the thing that pops up at the bottom of the screen if you just tap the PlayStation button. You can fully rearrange that entire thing. Thank Christ.
Finally.
They need trophies on that.
Actually, about that, they are making it so you can also track trophies up to 5 in a game, and you can even sidebar that shit.
Okay.
So if you're just grinding for trophies and you just want to know how close you are, you can keep that shit in a sidebar while grinding your game. Presumably they'll improve the trophy stuff, but I don't think they wrote anything in the exhaustive update notes about that.
Right.
They updated the Friends tab, which is good. They also updated so that way you can write and read messages straight from the control center. They also have a feature where if you're competing for high scores, like you do in the speedruns for Astro's Playroom, if you make a new personal best, it'll automatically record a video of that.
Oh.
So it won't record it every time you attempt. It'll record it when you make a personal best, which is great.
Right.
Saves me some steps. I really enjoy that feature on the PS5. I hope more people use it. What else? Okay, that seems like that's all of the major ones. Oh, and installed games will be the first fucking tab under library. Thank fucking Christ.
Right.
It's like, I want to see my games. You know, the ones that are installed, assholes. I don't want to know the potential of what I could pull from the internet. Anyway, let's move on to the SSD thing. Sony published instructions on how to install it and also the specifications necessary in order to use it. Digital Foundry looked at the specifications, including the size, because that's a thing you need to be concerned with too, because of the size of the heatsink. And it appears there are 6 different models from, I believe, 6 different manufacturers, which will all work. Varying prices on all of those. Seagate is the first one to confirm firsthand that, I hate this name, Seagate's FireCuda 530 is compatible.
That's the one I was thinking about getting.
It has a picture of a dragon on it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get it.
I want a burning barracuda. What do you mean it's a dragon?
It's a dragon. It looks like a graphics card from 2008. It made me laugh.
I'm going to call him the Blue Barracuda from Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I have to look this thing up now.
Yeah, you should. The instant I looked at it, I'm like, that's a graphics card. Here are the prices for that SSD. There are others that are cheaper, but 500 gigabytes for $150, 1 terabyte for $255, 2 terabytes for $515, and 4 terabytes for $1,000. My SSD I used in my computer is cheaper. In fact, right now it's on sale for $420. Or not mine. I don't have a 2 terabyte, but the 2 terabytes on sale for $420 right now. So prices on this, depending on what size you want, is actually competitive with the Series X solution. Because the Samsung 980 Pro should be compatible. The WD_black SN850, which is what I use, is also compatible, and that's cheaper and probably performs better than the FireCuda, but we'll have to get it to find out. The only thing you have to worry about with this is you have to order the one with the heatsink, and you have to make sure that it will fit with the heatsink into the SSD chamber. Digital Foundry already did some of the work. They have stuff up on their website or on Eurogamer, where they put shit up when they want to write words. And I'm glad that they're at price parity from some of the manufacturers
Already,
and it's only going to get cheaper over time. The price on this stuff is always going down. This is really promising. And honestly, if I didn't just go through the 2 most expensive months of my life, I would have already ordered one. But I did that. So I'm not already ordering one. I'm going to wait till Digital Foundry does some fucking benchmarks and let me know what is the good shit.
yeah, it's always the best.
Does this expand the storage or replace it?
It sounds like it expands it. It's not going to just replace the internal entirely.
Thank God.
Yeah, that was the worst case scenario I was worried about, but it sounds like it works fine. We have texts from Insomniac coming out and talking about this. They said the compatibility is really good out there on things that meet that specification. If you do not use an SSD that meets that specification, it does make things load like 15% slower than what their game expects. So don't do that.
So I looked up the FireCuda.
We're gonna get some funny videos.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Someone's like, I bought a Samsung. That's what I was supposed to do. And it's like, the numbers matter, right?
No.
So, Bob, how's the Fire Cuda looking?
I'm very upset. It doesn't look anything like a Barracuda. What are they thinking?
It's just a dragon. What's
there's
wrong with this
literally
dragon?
nothing like a Barracuda.
I'm posting this image. One moment.
It's basically a Barracuda.
KZ, can you put that in the podcast? I feel like everyone can agree that's a graphics card.
Holy shit, Mark! You look at that thing.
Wow, I
Okay,
didn't
but
even
it
find
looks like
this
they
one.
have. It looks like they have a different one that looks vaguely like a fish.
It's a rat. Why is it a rat?
A cheese to meet you. Put me in your PS5.
Yeah, that's like a rat dragon. That's at best a rat dragon, at worst a racist dragon.
I don't know.
No.
I like it how graphics card core it is. I appreciate this thing, this rat dragon. You know what? Sure, it's neat. It's a little bit more expensive than it should be, but whatever. The price on this shit's gonna come down. I'm gonna wait for Black Friday. Because if I'm not buying it right now, I might as well wait till November.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have to get this image of Seagate's line of drives. They have a ridiculous name and logo for each one.
Oh, good. This is the only time this is going to be fucking relevant. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, these are great pictures. What are you talking about?
Wolf, Barracuda, Skyhawk, Firecuda, Exos.
I like how Exos is just a spaceship.
Yeah, why is this Exos a spaceship? But these two actually look nice. I like the Barracuda. Looks like a Barracuda.
Skyhawk. What the fuck? Surveillance drive? What sort of specialty drive would... All right, whatever.
Right?
Moving on.
Esports teams.
Yes, this is very esports. The only thing I didn't mention about the 3D audio is there was a note in the firmware update that said improved game audio quality for games with 3D audio when headphones is selected. So that's exciting because I found the 3D audio to be a little disappointing, and I actually got more of a 3D effect out of not turning that on in my experience because I have excellent stereo imaging on my headphone setup.
Right.
So if you have excellent stereo imaging where you know, for people who don't know, if you have bad audio equipment, your signal isn't really stereo. Like the channels blur over into each other and you get what is basically glorified mono. But if you have completely isolated stereo channels, that 3D audio already sounds really good. Hopefully this makes the 3D audio feature sound even better, but I don't know. I'll test it out. We'll find out. And that is the end of my news segment, the largest I've ever done probably. We're going to Bob for the really important news. It's at the top of your list. Let's go.
Of course. Neptunia X Senran Kagura Ninja Wars got a US release.
Hell yeah.
Exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, it's coming out this year. It's September in
Time to
Japan.
buy the first Neptunia game in years.
Yeah, this is made by Tamsoft, the guys who did Senran Kagura. So it's going to play like a video game.
Yo!
Yo, Tamsoft, didn't they make Battle Arena Toshinden?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, and Guardians Crusade.
Ah, yes.
And then they were like, please stop saying Battle Arena Toshinden is better than Virtua Fighter.
You're killing us, please.
It's really not. We don't need this
Please
press.
just say it's a 3D fighting game, and that's cool news, so fucking buy
And that
it.
is good.
It's fine. That's good, Bob. I assume you're getting that. It'd be kind of weird if he didn't.
Probably. I don't know. The Neptunia part scares me. And also, I haven't bought the last 4 or so Senran Kagura games because it looks like they've been spinning in circles. So hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully this
I feel like there hasn't been a normal one since the PS4, the first PS4 one.
they kept doing those weird
they
remakes
did,
of old games.
Yes.
Yeah, they did remakes of old games, and then they did the cooking one, the pinball one.
The surfer shooter water gun one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I honestly am just like Tamsoft. Release that other game you showed off like 2 years ago that looked cool. I don't even know the name anymore.
Okay. That's good. Let's move on.
Sure. Solar Ash got a release date. It's going to be October 26th.
Am I the only one floored that it was this year? Like, I
didn't think for sure it would be, but I'm not super surprised.
I thought it would be really early next year at soonest.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because it's been more than 5 years since Hyper Light Drift.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. When I saw the footage last year at the PS5 thing, when they first showed it off, I was like, wow, that's cool. That's going to be a couple years out. No, it's like one.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense because they announced it well before that PS5 show. And
Yes.
it didn't get a big presence because it wasn't at a Sony show.
Yeah, I don't think they even had gameplay before that, did they?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. But that's cool. October 26th. Nice.
Yeah, it's not September, so that's really good.
Right?
I don't know. That's close to
Yep.
Dread. Dread is when I start sweating.
Dread is like, very early in the month, but this is 3 days before Mario Party.
Luckily, they're nothing alike.
Right. Like, there's no overlap there that
What
I'm
games
worried
for
about.
real gamers?
There's overlap in things that are going to require your time.
Yes, there is.
Also, excuse you, it's 2 days before Riders Republic.
That game ain't coming out this year.
I'm
They're
gonna
gonna delay it again. They delayed it a week ago.
I'm gonna give that game a chance. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, maybe Ubisoft will give us a code.
That would really help us give it a chance.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I bought Watch Dogs Legion way too early for giving it a chance, and we still haven't recorded that.
Oh no!
Yeah.
We should just do it as a live show on Friday sometime.
Oh my God, why would we? People are like, remember when you did retro games? And I'm like, it came out last year. Shut up. It's retro.
Stop that.
My other big news story,
Uh-huh.
Tales of Rise has fishing.
Oh, that's
I was kind of shocked.
good.
I'm like, wow.
And most important, everyone on this everyone on this podcast is a genius because we all correctly ascertained. Yeah, those dialogue scenes in Scarlet Nexus are just how skits are going to look now.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed that it's just gonna look like Scarlet Nexus or remind me of Scarlet Nexus.
I don't know. I
that's
think
okay.
the aesthetic is different enough so I'm not reminded of
That's
it.
okay,
There's an
KZ. I'm
enormous-
disappointed you keep reminding me of Scarlet Nexus.
They get an enormous buff though. Because as they displayed in the trailer,
Yeah.
this now means your costumes apply to the skits.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I need to see more of them because right now they just kind of feel like, their mouths are flapping and you're changing the windows. I kind of like the 2D art a lot, and the occasional times they would use actual CGs.
It looks like
Stuff.
they have at least real, like, full animated scenes to go along with
Yeah.
it, too.
Also, my worry is that because they're putting this work in, they will tremendously slash the amount that there'll be, which I'm like, oh.
I'm assuming that they just showed us a really high rent one, and there will be ones that are like more normal
Yeah.
that don't require as much effort.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's it, and that it doesn't feel
Because they
there's maybe-
did the we don't have any skits shit for Zisteria, and it's one of the reasons that people rip on that game.
Also because its story's really bad, and its combat's kind of bad.
Most Tales of fans don't care about that, Casey.
The
The fact it's like, no, there's like a third of the amount of skits and you only get them at the end. That made a lot of people
I mean
upset.
that makes a lot of sense. That's the only place you could find characterization in that game.
Man, I'm glad I dropped that game real early.
That game peaked like an hour in when the protagonist is like, hey, my childhood boyfriend, let's have a tickle fight. I'm like, is this really happening in front of us?
Yeah, this is the heaviest not gaze I've seen that breaks through Kingdom Hearts.
This is for the record, that childhood friend male character gets put in the art with all the love interests wearing a wedding.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
Shout out to Mick Leo, he's great in skits.
Yeah, where characterization.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there's not a really annoying character going, I know everything that's going on, but I won't tell you.
And they do that for 60 hours.
Okay, so we're moving on.
Yeah.
Like
KZ,
2 months till arrives. I'm so pumped.
honestly, looks great.
Yeah, it does.
KZ,
Yeah.
what news do you have?
Number 1, Marvel's Avengers expansion Black Panther War for Wakanda launches August 17th.
I don't know if this one's gonna take off without a Hawkeye.
Oh, no.
I don't know, but that you can bring in your Hawkeyes. All 8 of them can come in here and take on Claw and whoever
Yeah,
else.
Claw.
Yeah, they said there's at least like 2 big villains in this, and of course the whole new setting. This is the higher rent thing they're doing compared to the other ones where it's just, I don't know, you're gonna fight Taskmaster again. The map is a bit more destroyed this time.
Man. Well, at least this has some hope of maybe reinvigorating this game because, oh my
Yeah.
god, 2 Hawkeyes just couldn't.
Yeah, this is an actual like expansion thing instead of like the minor things like when Destiny would have a minor thing of like the House of Wolves or whatever, or like the Dark Below.
You say that, KZ, but they charged the same as they did with everything else. So that shouldn't have been a minor thing.
I know, but I'm looking at the scale of what we're getting, not the scale of prices. The scale of prices with Square Enix is always going to be high, no matter what happens.
And wasn't the last thing supposed to be big? Or you did like Future Hulk?
Yeah, that shit looked pretty hype. It was supposed to be a big deal. I don't know if it actually was. I didn't play it, but they were treating it like it was a huge deal. It had plot stuff. It had Future Hulk.
You know, maybe with the Maestro, it was supposed to have more energy, but at the time, people were dunking on it so hard, they kind of had this poison field around it. At least here, it's like, okay,
Now everything's just completely dark. All the lights are off in the house.
The thought of it just like, well, now that no one cares, it's safe.
Yes! Because there are articles that aren't coming out saying that this lost Square $200 million or something.
Oh my god.
I wrote in this one out of passion.
Uh-huh.
Blue Box Game Studios needs to shut the fuck up.
They really do.
I'm so fucking tired of these people, this developer, because they posted something about how you got to pick up their app on the PS5 to watch a trailer for their game that definitely doesn't have anyone relevant on it. Here's a blurred out image of what looks like a guy in an eye patch. The people are like, this looks like Solidus.
Yeah.
Apparently somebody found the guy in an eye patch, and it's a generic stock asset you can buy, which kind of makes me think even more they're up to some shit.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion necessarily on whether or not that's legit, but this is just getting annoying.
Yeah,
Look, either this is going to be a real game by someone important, or I feel bad for them.
It'd be funny if like even Sony's like, this is stupid. You're being annoying. Once you submit this, we'll just not let it pass cert.
I still don't understand the concept of we're doing an app that lets you watch trailers.
The thing is that they did tweets about this. The app is playing the trailers in real time.
Yeah, it's the real-time experience. You can already preload it, Dan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every
time this company tweets, like 10 minutes beforehand, Kojima was awakened on Twitter.
I despise this company until they say what it is, and if it's good, I'll still kind of be upset.
I'll be like, oh, Kojima, you're wacky. Give me another good game, please.
Yeah.
And if it isn't Kojima, I'll be like, you guys should have just stopped, like, froze for like 6 months.
Yeah, you should have done a lot of things to just completely.
Like, either this is Kojima or it's people who, like, are trying to benefit from the fact they were mistaken for Kojima and don't understand that there's no universe where you can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really sad. If that is true. So, this one popped up today. Forza Motorsport 7 will be delisted September 15th. A month before the 4-year anniversary of the game. They call it someone came into my chat and said, yeah, Forza Motorsport 7 is hitting its end of life period. And I'm like, that's not real. That's just something they made up so that they can delist it. Please do not give them that.
Yeah, that's really fucking annoying.
Yeah,
it's like, congratulations, your most recent Forza game doesn't exist. You have no Forza games.
Yeah, until they put out Forza Motorsport with no number on it.
Like, what license did you sign that isn't even 5 years? This just sounds like a lie.
Oh,
I'm sure they can save some money doing licenses like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt that incredibly myopic Microsoft was certain that they would have another Forza out right now.
Yeah.
Another Forza Motorsport out right now.
This came out October 2017.
Right.
This is depressing.
Yes.
Their own games are deleting themselves.
Yes.
And instead now we're getting more Horizons regularly.
Which is fine. Horizon's fine. It's just, imagine if they did this with Gran Turismo Sport, Bob. There would be no Gran Turismo for you to play on the PS4.
Yeah. That's
Like
ludicrous.
Like insane. Absolutely fucking insane.
And they want to move everything to fully digital. Like, that's their plan.
Yeah,
They can't even make a Forza that would stay on Game Pass eternally.
And Phil
That's
Spencer will pop up on podcasts and brag about how important game preservation is this month.
Yeah, he did that this month.
Yeah.
It's like we should store all video games and keep them and put them in museums and stuff and try to preserve this important stuff.
He says as he makes a deal to burn his fucking forest down after 5 years. 4 years. 4 years. 4.
4.
Fuck off, my man. Jesus.
This is the equivalent. It's like, all right, guys, in 6 months, you can no longer buy Persona 5.
I'm curious.
Gone. It's gone. They
Holy-
delisted that.
Holy shit, could you imagine?
When they get delisted like this, can you not even get updates anymore? Like, say you go buy the disc.
I
Is it just
assume-
like the vanilla version.
I assume Microsoft knows better than to do that.
It's like, oh, all that DLC you bought's gone. forever.
You know, I
I
like that you have that
assume-
trust in them. I wasn't expecting that level of trust.
Well, here's the thing. Microsoft serves up, digital copies of some games that aren't for sale anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, if somebody bought it digitally, you still have to.
Yeah, there's a
They still
couple
have to.
there's a couple
give it to
instances
them.
of that. So that's something.
Like I know, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of games I own on Steam that they still have to serve me, even though you can't buy them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, Steam definitely
Like,
is better about that.
Like you can still get Prey 2016 on Steam if you go buy not 2016 2006 on Steam if you go buy an old key and pop it into Steam. They will still serve you that even though you can't buy it anymore,
Okay.
which is bullshit, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's bullshit.
man. Did Forza Motorsport 7 ever make it to PC? Like to Steam specifically?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that was before they gave up.
Yeah, that was before
yeah,
they gave up.
in like 2019. I think.
It's funny because you know it's a corporation you're talking about instead of a person when you say they gave up, they got better.
Right.
Uh-huh.
They gave up and put it somewhere it could sell to people who wanted to buy it with money.
Like human beings, when they give up, they stop trying as hard. Corporations, when they stop trying as hard, it's almost always a good thing.
You know,
Yes.
I do appreciate at least Ars Technica having a good headline.
Mm-hmm.
How one game's delisting pokes a hole in Xbox Game Pass's promise.
Yeah, it definitely does not help that argument.
Yeah, we put a license song in Psychonauts 2. It leaves Game Pass next year.
Holy shit. could
All
you
right, well,
imagine?
moving on to our final piece of news for the week. Kenna Bridge of Spirits has been delayed again to September 21st.
All right.
All right.
Feel.
Please stop. There's like 7 games in September already.
It's like,
Please.
Yeah, WarioWare's coming out then.
Oh God, it is. I forgot to even look at Switch releases.
Yeah,
there's
I
lots of
held
good
that
ones.
back for now because you listed like 6 games last time, and I'm like, I'll get them later.
It's like, oh, do you want to play Lost Judgment? You want to play Tales of Arise? You want to play WarioWare? You want to play Sonic Colors Ultimate? It's like, Jesus Christ, guys, come on.
Like, I want to play Sonic Colors Ultimate. Despite all your bad marketing for that game, I'm very interested in playing it.
Yes. No, that game's going to be pretty good, actually.
oh my God. I was at a GameStop talking to someone about the pre-orders I had, and they're like, oh, is it Tales of Arise or Tales of Arise? I've heard both.
What?
And it's not just me going in there trying to fuck with them.
No.
Oh my God. What? What? You fucking serious right now? What the
I
fuck
love
you-
King Dom Hearts.
It's just
Yes, King Dom Hearts. It's like King Moggle Mog.
Good King Mom.
Hey, and the biggest release of September, The Medium on PS5.
Don't even give them that.
Mm.
They didn't earn that.
They didn't even earn it. They didn't earn a cruel joke.
No.
Is Deathloop still coming out in September? Or did that get moved again?
I don't know, man. Every Bethesda game
Deathloop.
seems to slip out to eternity, so I don't really.
You should probably look it up, but then they'll tell you what the game is and not give you a date.
You try to look
Yeah,
up,
who
look up
cares?
the release date, and it just explains, like Google explains to you the conceit of the game.
Yeah, I'm guessing it is because the E ESRB rating came out.
Okay, all right, that's news.
Sure.
Yeah. In the next week, I have to figure out how to get live streams to sound good with this audio plugin. We're gonna play a Dawn of Sorrow hack called Dawn of Dissonance. We might also play some other things. We've got a lot of games we need to play. Hey KZ, what are you doing?
I'm continuing my streams of Neo The World Ends With You. Gonna crunch through that. Hopefully at some point I need to start Judgment because I bought it. and the Lost Judgment's going to come out, and then it's going to get scary. And I don't need to think about backlog when September hits.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, you gotta get practicing on those trailing mini games.
Yes, I'm going to do a lot better in those because they're going to be a nice crisp 60 on PS5.
I'm regretting
Casey,
that I have
you
to play the beginning of that game again.
You absolute Casey, I need you to get to the bonus boss, optional boss, and fight him and imagine how that ran on PS4.
I know, it's going to be the same thing as playing 13 Sentinels and using Missile Rain and going, I wonder how this ran.
Oh man, this fucking reminds me of some shit I saw on Twitter where someone, Alex Battaglia, was like, judging by footage we're being shown, Xbox One versions, 1 and 1X, are going to be running 30 frames per second on Halo Infinite. And some guy went, okay, well, we'll see how that works out for me. My PC's about as strong as an Xbox One. And both me and Alex in separate replies went, how the fuck is your PC? How's your CPU that bad? What? I did my reply and I backed out. Then I see Alex saying the same fucking thing to the same guy. I'm like, oh my God. We're both just like, how? Are you using a laptop from 2008? Like, how is this?
They upgraded certain things and that was not one of them.
That was in fact none of them ever. Anyways, hey Phil, what do you got going on in the next week?
I don't know. I'm still in death crunch mode
I'm so
normal
sorry.
job.
Normal job, death crunch in the middle of summer. That fucking sucks, my man. All the more power to you.
Yeah, it's bad. Luckily, this is it's funny how the entire West Coast is burning down. It's like, wow, this is the wettest, coolest summer of my life.
Yeah.
It's bizarre because everything is green and I'm in the desert.
I'm sure that's also
might be
fine and
dead.
normal.
I'm thinking you might be dead, and this is just like the afterlife.
Could you imagine he's recording podcasts in his fucking afterlife? Jesus Christ.
If I was, our Patreon would be a little bit higher if I was dead.
Maybe we just
A little bit.
Maybe we just say Field died because we have enough evidence to point towards that. Maybe that'll bring up the picture.
We'll do that. I'll be Phil now.
Oh.
That's
I
it.
don't know why he thinks you're a bird, Phil. Is there some lore
Yeah, I don't
as to
know.
why this man thinks you're a bird? Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support us, head on over to www.patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get extra podcasts and early access to our anime podcast, Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool. Head on over there and become a $5 backer or podlord today.